Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, March 5th, 2015 at 7:04 p.m. First on the agenda is a public hearing continuation for 58 Chestnut Street, Alfred de Prado, and he has requested a continuation until the next meeting.
Oh.
Okay,
I'm good.
hold on a second. 4-2.
Oh, for 4-2? We have one at 3:19.
Oh, okay, 4-2.
So 4-2 will probably be 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's probably because it's full. Bet you
Yeah.
the next one's full.
Yeah.
So it's 4-2, I guess, 'cause the next one's probably filled. Maria wrote 4-2.
Does he have to go to ZBA?
Yeah. I don't know, they probably got continued and then he needs to get on this meeting
ZBA
in
is,
20 days.
ZBA is the 14th. You want to put him on for 4-2?
Well, that's what Maria wrote, 4-2.
All right,
Where's the mic?
to 7 o'clock.
Oh, she already did it. Make a
Oh, okay.
motion to continue the public hearing for 58 Chestnut Street to April 2nd at 7 p.m.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
When?
4-2 at 7 p.m. Must have been the 20 days that they had to wait too, maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Where's ZBA? When you got him on?
Oh,
ZBA?
yeah.
I think they're doing a site walk.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched it on TV. Okay. Next, we have a RDA public meeting for 42 Birch Street, Mass Electric, National Grid. They're going to be putting up some poles.
Is National Grid here? Oh, hi, how you doing?
Oh, great. Come on, introduce yourself, please. Have a seat. Oh, anywhere.
Here? Okay.
Yeah.
For the record, my name is Hannah Raditz. I'm a wetland scientist with Conoco Engineers and Scientists, so I represent National Grid as their contractor for this. So if it pleases the commission, I can go over a rundown of the
And I have
project.
some photos here if you want to go, you know,
Oh, cool.
point by point. I mean, but you can do your little,
Yeah, you can sort of funnel through the photos. There's not too much to see.
Where is this located?
well, it's-
So this pole is actually, it might help. I've got some extra printed
Did you
out
put an
maps.
ad in the paper?
Yes.
Okay, do you have the ad so I can read it?
so there's a wetland, you know, there's a wetland right here.
Well, wait a minute, Steve, I gotta read the ad.
Okay, sorry.
I don't believe I have the tear sheet with me from the ad, but I do know that it was, I have confirmation that it was printed in the
It
paper.
might be,
Oh, dear.
it might be in there if Maria has it, or
Because it wouldn't be fair to everybody else that we say, sorry, we need that proof that it was
All right, let
put.
me
Oh,
go.
I got it.
Yeah, it was sent in the email. It was sent to the email.
Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, let's see, we'll hold a public meeting for Monday, March 5th, 2018 at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40. Proposed request for determination of applicability work location is shoulder of Birch Street, and the applicant is requesting permission to install a wooden utility pole with associated anchor in the shoulder of the roadway, right-of-way in front of 42 Birch Street. Okay.
Okay, well, reading that out basically summarizes what I was going to say, but I could read it again. So yes, this is going to be for the installation of one wooden utility pole with associated anchor within the shoulder of the roadway right-of-way. It'll be within 10 feet of the roadway edge, though likely closer to that. When I was there on a site inspection recently, this is obviously Birch Street that we're looking at. I just took pictures of the shoulder of the roadway to show where the BBW is. This is further up the road. There's the BBW. That's near, and just right up ahead, that spot you can kind of see right across from that utility pole in the distance is where they're going to be installing this utility pole. So that's the utility pole 9, which is right across the street, and then that spot right there that this picture is of right now is where they're going to be installing the new utility pole with the anchor.
And number 9 still staying there?
Yes. Yeah, this is an extension of
And
it.
there's an intermittent stream that pops out of that, or goes this way?
Yeah, so you
Or this
can,
way?
it, from this image, it runs across the roadway.
There's no pipe?
Yeah.
There's a culvert.
Oh,
You can see
right
that
there.
right there.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah.
see the head wall, the stone head wall here?
Is that me
Yep.
beeping?
Yeah. I don't know if
Yep.
it's corrugated metal.
I'll be right back. Can you take a look?
Yes, yeah, sure.
The pole, you leave them behind, the old pole?
Careful.
You leave them behind the pole, right? Leaving in place an existing pole? Is that what you said?
The pole number 9 is staying there. This pole is
Is
going
it?
to be attached to that pole across the roadway from
Oh,
it.
that was my question.
Yep. Yeah, they're not removing any pole. This work is just to install this utility pole right across the road from it.
What are you thinking, like fallish?
I believe that they are intending to do the work this summer. They don't.
Just joking.
They don't normally. Oh, you. It's like sometime. Generally, they don't. Though, to answer your question seriously, they don't normally schedule the work until they have the permit in hand. But I'm guessing they're gonna do it this summer, and it should be done in one day.
So this is necessary to strengthen up the line, there's no house proposed or anything?
Nope, and
So-
that's not at all a part of this proposal. It would just
Okay.
be to increase the reliability, I believe.
Okay, all right.
Not doing anything there, they're not doing anything there right now, are they? So, okay.
This was like 2 weeks ago, 3
There's a
weeks
lot of
ago.
activity in that area Saturday night, a lot of flashing red and blue lights.
Oh goodness.
So, that may
Yeah,
be-
it's a temporary disturbance for utilities, I have no issue with the project.
Yeah, when I was on site, I did measure the distance from the proposed site of this pole to the BVW, which I just delineated sort of by site. So it's about 35 feet from the edge of this wetland, which is close, but this work is exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act
Yes, it is.
for installation within the edge of the roadway. They will be using BMPs, of course. They'll be using straw wattles staked in place around the base of the pole between the pole and the wetland resource area. I don't believe silt sacks will be necessary unless I missed a culvert, I don't think I saw any drainage. So probably just straw wattles.
Okay. I think we're good with this.
Anybody in the audience have any questions? Okay, so,
I make a motion to issue a negative determination for 42 Birch Street.
motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
time, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, 2 minutes. So it's not on any of our agendas, but it's an email from Bill Cundiff. I guess that this is in regards to 50 Southwest Main, a violation of Zeal.
Okay.
And Bill sent us this email that he's meeting with Dave Fast, F-A-I-S-T, and Mary Ann DePinto regarding the proposed plan. I guess they
Okay.
want to do something with the drainage here.
Okay.
And that's,
Regarding the roadway drainage.
The roadway drainage.
Tie it into our restoration plan. So they do have a restoration plan almost ready to go, it looks like.
and their deadline to file was the 1st of March.
Right.
according to the
And are they
enforcement
paying
order.
any fees, any fines?
No.
Not yet, but I would give them, I would bring it up at the next meeting because it took a while to get the certified mail out, and then it came back.
Okay.
And then, so we had Carol, the constable, send it the next day. But it
Okay.
looks like they were working on it regardless,
All right.
which was good, so. I think the whole issue with the violation is to make sure that they were doing the work, which looks like they're doing.
Yeah, well, they still disturbed the
Yeah.
Right, but-
wetland.
But
no matter
the
what.
good thing is, I can show her the plan, looks like they have a restoration plan which they're pretty far along with.
1/10/18. Okay.
Because it is a man-made pond.
Yeah.
That's been there for, what, 20 years, I guess. But the thing is, it was working the buffer zone too.
Okay.
Because the regular pond is right there.
Yes. Yeah, true,
Okay.
true.
So just letting you know that, I hope to be there on Friday. Of course, it'll be after we get a foot of snow.
I know. What are you gonna see?
Huh?
What are you gonna see?
I know, huh? Maybe I'll
Move it up to
give
Wednesday.
Bill a call.
See if they can do it Wednesday
know.
morning or tomorrow.
I'll give Bill a call, see what he thinks. Okay. Until Steve comes back. Do you want to sign the negative for the National Grid? Perfect.
You didn't miss much.
Now we're gonna throw
A
in
utility
something.
pole. In a street.
Ready, Mike? Okay, yeah. Next one, 7:15, we have a public hearing for 60 Woodland Road, Deer Crossing Development.
Steve, which ones of these are behind my house?
These are, if you go to the intersection,
Okay, they're on the other side?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm not in a butter.
No.
Okay, just checking.
Down in the bowl, when you take an intersection, you take a left to go back up to.
Yeah.
There's a little bowl there.
Yeah.
I'll take
There's
some.
3 of them right there.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure that I didn't need to accuse myself.
Oh, great, perfect. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Deer Crossing Development on March 5th, 2018 at 7:30 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. The proposed work will be done on 68 Woodland Road, 60. Proposed work location will be done on 60 Woodland Road and involves the construction of a single-family home, deck, driveway, well, septic system, shed, split rail fence, underground utilities, and all associated site grading. Okay?
My name is Dave Martinot. Tim Nealon from Deer Crossing could not attend tonight. Must be Rebecca?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Dave. We talked today.
You're welcome to look at this too. I colored all 3 of them up.
Yeah, I have a new
Oh,
one.
you
too.
have them up
Yep,
there? All
yep.
3 of them? Okay.
Yes.
And if you could,
Butter is sitting at
you
the table.
really shouldn't be sitting at the table. This is for the board and the applicant, so if you could please just sit in the audience.
I can't see the plan unless you're gonna put it on the screen.
I'll put it on the easel.
Put it on the easel.
Another one right here.
I have a big one, okay.
Steve, why did you hand me this just because? Did you just hand me this just because?
Well, if you want to see
So
all
if you
three
could
at
please
once.
not
Oh, okay.
sit at the table and sit in the audience, and wait until you're recognized, and you can raise your hand and if you have any questions.
So I just wanted to point out that we have 3 in a row tonight. The first one we're talking about is Lot 31, which is here. Old Farm intersection, Woodland Road is here. First one is here, the second one is here, the third one is here. So, post number 60. You want to see all?
No, you can do yours from the back. I'll just do an overlay.
So, post number 60 is Lot 31B. Woodland Road at the top. Purple is our lot line here. This is our lot line here. Wetlands that have been evaluated by Ecotech, Art Allen of Ecotech is highlighted in green. This is our area here. Buffer zone, 50-foot buffer zone, orange per your code. We're proposing straw wattles, the infill fence here in the orange, in the yellow, all the way through here. Proposed dwelling is in the purple. Shed in the back, system in the front. Grading driveway is a front load driveway shaded in the brown. Stockpile is here. We're proposing an anti-creep of the split rail fence right through here, come across to here, and across to here. Proposed well is in the back with the sedimentation pit. And all the grading is, essentially the land is pitching from Woodland Road down.
Is there a break in the fence right at that corner?
Yeah, what we did is, we did some other work on this subdivision, and what we chose to do was we have an 8-foot section, an 8-foot break, 8-foot sections for wildlife to go
No,
through.
but how about that corner right there, though? That looks really big. No,
stop.
sorry, here.
Okay.
Sorry, it looks like a really big gap right there.
Well, I have it here, and I have it here.
Oh.
And I have a piece here.
Yeah.
So I could add one more if you would. Yeah, I could
No,
add
it's
one
more about blocking off access to the wetlands, so it's
Right.
more about something this way.
Yeah,
Okay.
why is there a drawing? there?
Yeah, it looks
could-
like you're almost
Point.
providing a path to the wetland,
Okay, I
so.
could turn that section.
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
ideal.
Yeah, yeah, so we can go like that if you would. Yep.
So even the, where's your erosion control, the yellow line?
The yellow line is the
So
erosion
why
control.
can't you go straight across?
Well, I have a footing drain that's coming here that needs to go that far for grade. I can look at moving that up and potentially pump it versus going gravity.
Yeah, because that's, why disturb that area if you don't have to,
Sure.
right? I mean, who's gonna wanna mow that, you know what I mean?
Yep. So the shed and the houses are outside the 50. And the houses conform to zoning. It's about 64 feet wide by 38, pretty modest. It's exactly the same type house that's being developed in the project currently.
Is the dash line existing grading?
Yes, it is. So we have a slope here for septic, slope here, and then pretty flat in here.
Dave, did
Are you
say
doing
wanted
any
to
grading in here?
Pump the
No.
footing?
Yeah.
You don't want to, did you say you're going to pump the footing?
No.
Well, I didn't want,
But if you went to daylight and for temporary disturbance and then just brought the line
Yep.
back for the lawn,
I could do that.
And
Yep,
you could have the split rail, that'd be the 8 feet separation where the pipe is.
yep, yep.
Yeah, you gotta bring that in.
We could make that temporary. Yep.
you want to go gravity as much as possible.
Exactly.
For-
Yeah, that's,
So, I recognize the fact that you are going within the 50 for the grading on the upper right,
Here, yep.
but I can't quite figure out why you need to be within the 50 for the whole backyard. I really, even with the fence and all, there's really no reason why you can't swing this back around and keep the yard behind the house, because this is where you're getting, right up Right up close to that. I mean, this is where
Yeah.
the greatest wetland potential impact, here,
Yeah,
here.
we could move a little bit of work in here.
Exactly, like
And then-
draw
but
it
we-
back.
Yeah.
I
we'd like to
mean,
keep
does
it
the shed
back.
have to be at that most farthest corner?
Well, that's something that Tim Nealon preference was, we have them all kind of in the back.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
in the back's one thing,
Yeah.
but in the backmost corner, pushing up
Yeah.
against in other words, if that's your rationale for erosion control having to be inside the 50, that's not a good rationale.
No, the reason why it's inside the 50 is for the footing drain on that one.
Yeah,
we
but you
just
could
talked
hug
about
that drain,
Yeah.
you could hug all the way along. Because wherever you put that, that's where you're also I notice that's where you're putting the fence, which means you're
Right.
suggesting lawn right up, out, way past the 50, and there's no need for there to be lawn within the 50. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
You've extended that yard way close to the resource, and it's just so unnecessary.
The property lines, that's not
I'm
where the
sorry,
property lines
if you
are.
could wait until the board is done discussing, and you have to
Okay.
raise your hand
It
to be
impacts-
recognized.
What you're discussing.
Yes, I know, but wait until the board is finished with their questions, and then we'll ask the audience if they have any questions. Anything else, Brandy?
No, those are probably the biggies. Just trying to get them to stay within the 50 would be great. I mean, I see where they have to go outside of the 50,
Right.
but that should be the only
Yeah,
place.
so if we can pull the proposed shed, the well up, let's
Well,
remain
the shed,
in
I think we're gonna
50.
try to leave there, but we're gonna bring this line, a little bit of work in here.
Why can't we have everything out of the 50?
The shed
The
is-
shed is out of the 50.
This plan is not.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
I commented
Yes.
on that.
Steve commented, this is updates, this updates is Steve's email.
And so you're gonna bring I'm sorry, I think you already said this, the fence and the erosion control all in, right? Okay. And so the fence will hug the shed?
All right,
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That looks better.
Yeah, that's good.
wait, what'd you do?
Just the fence is hugging 50.
But you don't have an issue with temporarily putting the foundation drain and then backing everything out?
As long as that's if that's what needs to happen, then I can see that temporarily.
disturbance. Oh, yeah, installation of the
Yeah.
drain, and then it goes to daylight.
Is-
But there shouldn't be.
You won't be having any issues. You
Is
always
that
wanted
noted
to-
on the plan? Do we need to have them changed?
Well, he'll
Yeah,
change
yeah,
that.
I'll add a note that it'll be a temporary disturbance just to put the footing drain and then restored. Yep.
And paved driveways, you put the paved driveways.
Paved, yep, everything's
stockpile
paved, yep,
material.
yep.
I mean, when I went there, a lot of the flags are out there. I mean, there's a couple here and there because of storms, but
Right, yeah. You can see them pretty clearly. I think they're
Yeah.
still in there.
Are the circles the stockpiles?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So what is this view that we're looking at
so
here?
this is this would be the one on the far left.
Okay. Is that
Probably in the
typically
middle.
what it looks like
So
out there?
which one is for the one we're doing right now?
Would be close to, right to that tree line. There you go, to the
So
left.
it's already been pretty much cleared? there's upland trees?
Probably half of it's been cleared.
Okay.
This is it here.
Yeah.
That's probably it, something like that. Were they cleared at one time? Looks like the whole area was gravelled.
Well, it was gravelled a
The old-
long,
the
long
old-
time ago.
The old
Right.
gravel pit,
Old gravel pit,
when it was just deer crossing.
deer crossing, yeah.
Like
That was
actual
belly
deer?
up, yeah.
20 years ago, 22 years ago. Right.
Tom Cullen
Yeah,
did it all.
Oh, I don't.
so it was all scrubbed, but
Okay.
tough site.
Yeah, yep. Couple other things before we, I've chatted with the Board of Health and they're still reviewing the design. It should be ready to go, I think, on Tuesday of next week. As part of your package, we have an A&R plan that's gonna go to planning board when we're all said and done. The original lot lines for lot 31. The other thing we need to do is to close out the old.
Right, I think Maria has that on the certificate.
Yes,
of-
okay.
They could do that tonight if you want.
Exactly. Yeah, we should close, we have old numbers for these old DEP file numbers. We should close those out. We have new ones that have been assigned.
So all these 3 lots were approved
Yes.
at one time.
back in '06.
back in '06, when the one across the streets were approved and other
Yep.
ones in the whole area were approved, and when
Yep.
it came back to reflag it,
Yep.
they discovered, they were honest, and discovered that isolated wetland.
For this particular lot, what happened is the original wetland line used to be over here. Okay, it used to be over here. So this pumped out, which forced us to move the house out to be 50 feet. So the original lot line came right down through here.
That is where the lot line is. That is not where the.
I'm sorry, could you wait, please, to be recognized?
So what we're
No,
doing is,
apparently not.
we have a plan before the planning board. We're gonna take this piece right here and convey this to this. So the ultimate shape of this lot, we call this piece X1. The ultimate shape of this lot will be here, goes up and around. So then what? We'll get to that one, but that's the same one, and then that's the same one there. So,
Okay, so these lots actually don't exist in what's being presented right now?
it hasn't been signed. Yep, Bill has looked at the plan, and we're tabling it until we're done with Board of Health to make sure there's no changes, but we're ready to endorse the plan. You have a copy of that plan in your packet.
So as far as this change, does that make it worse for the house next door, pushing it into the wetland or
No.
into the 50?
Nope, it doesn't. The next lot will be more than 50. This is 68
Oh,
off the
okay.
back. So the purple is the same. So the buffer zone is here for the next one.
That's the 50?
Yep, and here's the
Okay.
buffer zone for the next one. So in all cases, we're outside. We had to move the lines in order to get them outside the 50 feet.
Okay. Good alternative.
So the refiling is because the old notice of intent had expired?
That's correct. Yep.
And then there's a perennial stream,
No,
or, okay.
intermittent.
I see a little break, but I didn't know what it was.
Yes, that's just my line, yep.
So.
Ecotech is evaluated, it's part of the packet,
Yeah.
it's intermittent stream.
Okay, and, as far as the BVW, it's pretty much looking like scrubby like that?
Yes.
Goes down the hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really
Borderline?
rocky,
Okay.
scrubby,
Holly.
Holly?
gravel. It's a gravel pit, so you know how that is. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
not
that-
much grows there.
And plus it was cleared at one time.
Okay. And he determined that it was that far up the hill,
Yep.
the BVW?
We had everything marked and completely reevaluated.
And did you take a walk up?
I did.
Was it, did you hurt yourself?
I did. I got a tick. I got
Oh, jeez.
on my leg in
Oh,
February.
good.
Yeah.
Only made it to your leg.
So what do the wetlands look like? Are they
It's
obvious?
Art would, I mean, I think he was conservative. And then especially coming up in that isolated, I mean, that front part of that, where the other one where you get into it, that where it has the retaining wall, you can see the high bush blueberries right now and stuff, and it must be a pocket.
pocket,
A pocket
yeah.
that he noticed. holding
Yeah,
it.
because the material must still be good there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so.
But it's mountain laurel and it's a mix and it's 50-50 and so it's not like this thing slope and you're walking right into
Yeah,
skunk
mush,
cabbage.
yeah. Okay. And is it a defined bank down below?
No, well, it slopes off, but it's not defined. It's rocky, bouldery. As
Did
come
you
off.
see any flow?
Oh, and I didn't go to the stream.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
go that far out because it's inside the other jurisdiction.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
the outer resource area takes precedent of the limit of disturbance.
Okay. Okay.
Mike, do you have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? Yes, could you state your name and address, please?
Rebecca O'Meara, I live at 81 Old Farm Road. I'm in a butter to this, I got a notice of intent for all three. I live within probably 100 feet of all of them. The proposed, what he's showing, those are not the proposed lot lines. Those are not what the town has on file at all. My other issue with it is that he's showing a swale, if that is what you're proposing for the lot lines, there's a swale on one property that dumps the water onto the next property, which is a problem. And then
Existing or proposed?
what you've proposed,
Right. Yep.
there's a swale between the two.
So that, do you see
And the
that?
water
Yep, we have
dumps,
it right here.
the water dumps, yep, right into their front yard.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm not sure the delineation of the wetlands, it doesn't look like the shape of the 50-foot offset line matches the same shape of the actual edge of the wetlands, which is another question. I don't like the shape of the lots that's being proposed, because if you were standing on the street looking towards those houses, you're gonna see two houses like this, and they're gonna look like
We
they're
can
right
only address
against
the
each other.
wetland issues.
Okay. That's
So
not
let's
what's
get back-
proposed, and
let's get
I
back
would
to your
propose
50.
that
You know what
that
she's
not
talking
be
about,
what's
50 foot
proposed.
offset?
So I guess,
If the green line is what we're talking about,
Yep.
is that the wetlands?
Yes,
Okay,
it is. Yep, the green line is the wetland, and the buffer zone would be here. So we're taking 50 from here, 50 from here, and 50 from here. If you will, it's a worst-case scenario, but I can't drag it down. The 50 can't go here, because they'll be closer than that one. So worst-case scenario is the orange.
I can't see it.
Excuse me?
Because
I
they're
can't see it.
overlapping circles.
Yeah, overlapping circles, yeah. So when you
know what he
come,
means by
when you
that?
come 50 this way and come 50 this way, it doesn't allow you to use that area there. If I were to
Right.
use that area there, I would be less than 50 here. So,
It's not a parallel line 50 feet away. It's a 50-foot disturbance from
from all angles.
all angles.
Right, he has to take that green line and offset it 50 feet.
No.
No, that's the wetland line.
So he's
You
not
can't
taking,
move
he's
that.
not taking the green line and mirroring it 50 feet. Because that one, he's taking the 50-foot buffer is 50 feet from all angles.
Yes,
So
I know.
it's more conservative.
So it's more conservative, so it's not gonna be the mirror image of that green line. Because
In
I
all,
don't know what you mean mirror image.
so
It's the exact same shape
if
except
it was
50 feet
if it
up.
was smooth
No.
like this, it would be 50, it would be 50, it would be 50. But because you have a little point here, okay, it's 50 right here, okay, and it's 50 over here. If I draw 50 over here, I'd only be pick a number 30 feet from that flag here. So I have to examine it from a conservation perspective as worst case from 50 from any flag. So I don't get to use that land. I don't get to use that land. So this pulls this line away from the wetland, so I'm giving more than 50 from here to here.
I can't really see individual flags from
I mean, because we're telling you that we're looking at it, and it is 50 feet from anywhere it needs to be from.
But the whole design of the site with the swale
the
dumping the
swale.
water from one lot
Well,
to the
well-
front yard, the other one doesn't work. The shape of the lot doesn't
Well,
work
that's a good
from
point
a
about the
street
swale, so
perspective.
you
So
shouldn't be dumping water on someone else's property.
You can't
So-
dump water on to someone else's property.
So what we're trying to do is we have a front load driveway here. Can we talk about this lot now without?
Well, you can at least tell us where water is flowing
Okay.
off of the current
Well,
lot.
the swale belongs to what the lot we're talking about
Exactly.
now.
So I think we can talk
The
about
swale belongs here, and the reason why the lot line is drawn here is to accommodate zoning here and accommodate zoning here. And Deer Crossing Development wanted to have a side load here and a side load here. So this water here is now gonna go this way, and then it eventually is gonna run right down through the driveway. And then we also have one that comes here and comes this way, feeding this wetland. So we have one that does this, we have one that does this, we have one that does that. And then this sheds this way, this sheds this way, this sheds this way.
Yeah,
you have to do
can't
something
water
about
going
that
to driveways,
driveway.
and you can't have water going towards a house.
Say that again, please?
You can't have water going to the wetlands, and you can't have water going towards a house.
you can't have water going
The
to the
basement will be flooded.
But you do have to deal with the issue of sending water down to somebody's.
So the only way we could do it is we
And you
have to,
can't dump water from one property to someone else's property.
well, they own this property, The developer is the same.
No, but.
No, there's
So,
two houses.
all said and
that are
done,
gonna be owned by the same
We'll
people.
twist this and put this on the, we'll put the swale on that lot line, right on this, on the upper side of that driveway.
Are the driveways going to be paved?
Yes, they have, yep,
Does it say it?
yep.
Is there any way to not only change the grading so that it does flow the way you just suggested, but any way to ensure that it can't get onto, that it can't cross the property line?
So, it's indicated here. Here.
What?
Paved drive.
We just wanted verification that it was indicated
So-
and paved.
Is there a way to ensure that not only with the grading, that it flows in the direction you just modified, in other words, flowing down the property line, but can we put a berm in here to be, or whatever you
We can
need
put
to
them out
do
there. Yep.
to be sure that it doesn't cross
Yep.
the property line? Because there's no problem as long as you send it this way.
Brandy, what's that hatched mark, the dark hatched mark on the end?
Wait.
Yeah, that.
Erosion control.
Erosion control.
You can't send it to the wetlands either.
Yes, you can. That's actually, we need to
Not off
feed,
from a driveway, you can send it.
you need to feed hydrology to the wetlands, so yeah, that is where ultimately the runoff is always sent. But it'll be running through a backyard, so it's gonna have a lot of permeable surface to slow it down and to filter it. So actually, that would be what we would prefer.
So the other plan, can we, I see the other plan that you have for the one we're talking about right now?
Sure.
So this just shows all three. This is the individual
Yep.
one.
7:15.
Oh, that's the wrong one, that's the wrong one, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's under, there we go. Under 60.
It's very close to not heading to the driveway on the other side. Right on the line.
Here?
Yeah,
Yep.
very close. Good job.
Excuse me.
Anybody else in the audience? Any questions? No?
April 2nd, good for you?
Yep.
Make a motion to continue the public hearing for 60 Woodland Road to April 2nd at 7:15 PM.
Second.
What's the date of that, April 2nd?
Yes.
You want to vote on the, as we do these, this certificate of compliance for 60?
For the
No
previous
work has
number?
commenced.
We can do them all at once.
Is that what it is? No work has commenced, is that what's checked off?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, we can sign it later, but we can vote on it.
I'll make a motion to issue an order of, or a certificate of compliance for 60 Woodland Road with no work commencing, and it's been expired.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next public hearing. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Deer Crossing Development on March 5th, 2018 at 7:30 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. The proposed work will be done on 64 Woodland Road and involves the construction of a single-family home, deck, driveway, well, septic system, shed, split rail fence, underground utilities, and all associated site grading. Okay?
Right. So 64 is what we call Lot 30B. Original lot line would be here, we just talked about that. Original lot line is here. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking frontage, so the new configuration of Lot 30B, 64, would be this pink line here. Wetlands are here to a point, come all the way down and around. That's the original same line as it was in '06. Proposed house is here and the shed is here. 50-foot buffer is the orange, 100-foot buffer is the orange. Erosion control is once again in the yellow, well in the back. Split rail fence right along through there, all the way to there. Stops at the shed, stops at the well, picks up again through here, and stops there because of the slope. System is here, stockpile is here. We have a wetland here. It's an isolated wetland. We were before the board informally back in December of 16 to talk about the merits of potentially filling this wetland in and recreating it across the street. The board gave us feedback to kind of work with the isolated wetland, but to leave it. So the 50-foot is here, off the isolated, 50-foot off the BBW is here, buffer zone is here. And this is our proposed limit of work in our yellow, side load, paved driveway, well in the back with a sedimentation pit. Comments about the septic are the same.
Any idea what's feeding the isolated wetland?
No. We did an ANARAD back probably in the '02 time period, and it didn't show up then. And it showed up as we were developing to reconsider this because the orders have expired. And obviously we talked about that one, and that popped up, was kind of a surprise, and then this all remained the same.
With what?
What did you ask? What the plants were?
What was feeding it?
Oh, feeding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not,
It's gotta be groundwater, so.
well, it's open here, it's on a slope, so I'm assuming it must be just overland flow that
It's
must be
more,
getting to it.
yeah, it's more prevalent, the wetland is more prevalent towards the road than it is towards where it's closer to.
There's nothing underneath, there's no, you haven't seen any runoff
No.
heading in that
It's
direction?
all
right-
sand and
it's right-
gravels.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
should have taken a picture of it.
So, can you wrap the split rail fence behind the shed, please?
Yep.
Again, we just don't want to leave big driveway-like openings out to the wetland. We want to,
Behind the fence or connected to the, I mean, behind the shed or
behind the
connected to
shed.
the shed? Connected.
well, we'd love it to hug as close as possible, so.
Okay.
But I recognize the fact that there's almost no lawn there, so I'm not going to say anything about the fact that it's
Right.
creeping this way until you start getting here. 22 seems a little excessive. Can you keep it outside of the 25? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're hugging.
There's
Yeah.
a grading.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
are,
that's
this is,
true.
this is 4-to-1, 4-to-1, 3-to-1, 3-to-1, so I didn't really want to do that, I'd have to go pretty steep off the back. I didn't really want to do that. I want to grow grass on 3-to-1.
Yeah, but what if the yard stopped here, nice and parallel with the
Like a
driveway?
retaining wall?
No, I was thinking you wouldn't have to grow grass if you just don't try to grow
Leave it
grass, then you
Oh,
don't
mean
need to have the grading be a 3 to
Feel like a
1.
meadow,
Yeah,
just let it go wild,
yeah, go crazy.
but leave the grade, but let it go wild.
Do you have to grade it?
I do.
you have to grade around that corner?
It's standing in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I gotta
from-
ask,
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
so, trying to keep mowed lawn with fertilizers and pesticides and whatnot, herbicides, I should say, out of 25 at the minimum, and you're at 22. So if there's some way where we could just kind of stop the lawn somewhere here. Eve, how about this?
Well-
Do the grading, but make the fence follow the 25.
Yeah, eventually. So after you're done with the grading, put the fence in, let it go back to its
Okay,
natural state.
we'll put
Yeah,
the we'll put
'cause
the
that'll
fence
keep
at the
people out of
50.
there.
We'll do the grading, but keep the fence at 50.
Okay.
Well, that's even better. That's just
Thank you.
wonderful.
There'll be no place about snow, but that's okay.
Well, they won't be.
If they
be
put it at
pushing it.
that orange line at the 50, you'd have to shovel instead of plow.
Yeah, that would be our only tough corner right there would be there. Do we take a few more feet?
Yeah, exactly,
And
yeah.
just- and
Go to
just-
go to
Yeah,
40.
yeah.
How's that?
Just do it like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great too.
Okay.
keep that in mind with the storm coming.
Any other questions for? Anybody in the audience? Yes, state your name, please.
The same as it was earlier.
No, we have to, because this is recorded.
It's Rebecca O'Melia, and I'm
Thank
at
you.
81 Old Farm Road still. I would contend that this area that's marked isolated wetlands is not isolated at all. The whole site is a whole, and it's wet from there all the way back to the other wetland. They're both connected, then it's not isolated in any manner from any other area that's wet on the site. And you're also building within it because he's showing a giant wall, which in the details wasn't shown correctly. On this plan, it's pointed out as being a boulder wall. And if you look at the design of this, it's at the edge of the property line, and there's like over a 10-foot drop off from one side to the other, and that would be not allowed. You can't have a car on one side of a driveway and a 10-foot wall and a drop off on the other side. You'd need to have some sort of fall protection that would be, is not buildable. It's also shown as a boulder wall in this site plan, and then on the detail that's associated with it in this set, the drawing shows a Versalock wall with, drainage and whatnot. And even the dimension of it, what's shown on this plan, is not correct. It would take up a lot more width than that to hold
Do you have
Ah.
a
Uh,
back bigger plan?
10
Of
feet.
this?
Well, it's
But this
wrong.
is
Yeah,
all
it's not
three.
correct.
Do you have a single
That's the
plan?
wrong NOI.
Yeah,
Can we-
right now,
can
we
we
can't
wait
talk
on-
about that one because
This
it's
one's on the next lot.
It's on the next lot that we haven't technically
Oh.
opened the meeting for, so we
Okay.
have to deal with the middle
The
one.
wetlands, though, I would contend is connected to the other, and it's not isolated, and you're building within the 50 feet of that if you're putting a wall there.
Okay, well, once again, the wall's on the next lot, so we could talk about that a little bit.
It's
The next
still
one.
within.
Where are the
You're-
elevations
50 feet
there?
of it.
You're contesting that this isolated wetland is connected to that?
It's all connected, the whole thing's wet.
Well, we had Art Allen out there. Steve, did you get a chance to look at that?
I looked at there also, I mean, it's a.
There's
But
water
that's-
under the rocks.
But that wouldn't change our buffer,
That wouldn't
isn't it?
change the plan, because even if it connected down here,
The buffer's around the
they're
wetland.
limited to this yellow line is
Okay.
for the building envelope.
Yeah, so they
So-
already
But you can't come in
accommodated.
here.
What's controlling it
anyway.
is that flag right there.
But the wall's within that.
Right, when we'll get to the wall in the
Okay.
next one, but right
Yeah.
now, the buffer zones would not change even if we made that a connected wetland.
Where is the well proposed for these? I can't figure that out.
The well is in the back, the well is right here, and the well is right here for the next one. They're all in the back, in the area of the sheds.
You can have our look at that connection.
Could you just read me the elevations of
affect
the
anything?
last, no,
Right here. This is
Yeah.
362,
and then the hill?
three-
Yeah, that one, right there.
right here.
The other one. Yep, keep going down.
This is 68,
Yep.
66,
Mm-hmm.
64, 62, 62,
Mm-hmm.
60, 58, 56.
Okay. So it's essentially flat
It's
from
flat
the
right here.
last
Yep.
isolated flag.
Yeah, it's all wet.
The transition,
But, I mean, it comes down to functionality. Is there a functional impact, whether it is connected
No.
or not? Doesn't change our purview, it doesn't change our
the water,
jurisdiction.
I could see if that isolated wetland gets full and it overflows, it's gonna flow,
Sure,
obviously.
yeah.
It's just, it was determined by Art that what the area between it wasn't.
Yeah. But again, whether it does or doesn't, does not functionally change the plan. So we
Correct.
should keep moving with the plan.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to continue the public hearing to April 2nd at 7:30 PM for 64 Woodland Road.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to continue this. All in favor? Now, is this also one that needs a certificate of compliance?
Yeah.
Correct.
Make a
They all do,
motion,
yeah.
make a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for 64 Woodland Road because it's expired and there's been no activity commenced.
Okay.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next one. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Deer Crossing Development on March 5th, 2018 at 7:30 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. Proposed work will be done on 68 Woodland Road and involves the construction of a single-family home, deck, driveway, well, septic system, retaining wall, shed, split-rail fence, underground utilities, and associated site grading.
68, we call as Lot 29B. Original lot line here, original lot line here. This piece goes here. This piece is coming from here, goes to here. Wetland is here. We have the isolated wetland, if you will, straddling the lot line. 50 foot off the isolated wetland, 50 foot off the DW. Buffer zone here. Septic is here. Our house is here. This house is 4 feet narrower than this one. Deck in the back and the shed off 53 feet off the wetland. Well in the back. Split rail fence from here to here, here to here, and then from here to behind the, just behind the shed on that occasion. This one's a little bit flatter in the backyard, from the back of the house to probably the shed. This remains all as is, but this is lowering this grade slightly right here by a foot. Side load left. We are proposing a boulder style. If it does say Versalock, that's a typo on our plan. She's in fact correct. It's 0 foot high here, it's 8 foot high here, it's 10 foot high here, it's 11 and 0 back to here. Proposed driveway is here, side load, the system. And our proposed wall is 7 feet wide, and the back edge of the wall off the isolated wetland is 8 feet off.
Do you think this is the best design you can do for this lot?
Well, we looked at putting a front load, but we're kind of driving over. We need a small retaining wall in the front. It's 0 feet high here, 3 foot high here. The need for that is because we have too much material over our system. So we have to put a small little boulder wall there. So that's kind of minor. But we looked at kind of having an angle here. We'd be driving over the system. Water Health sort of frowns on driving over the system where you have an alternative.
Yeah, curl it in.
Yeah, so we have,
So you have your breakout?
we have,
You use a poly barrier? What?
so we have a 32 foot turnout, turning in, and then, if you will, kind of coming out, backing out, and coming
You
back
couldn't
out.
flip it, you couldn't flip the whole thing?
Yeah, just flip the house.
Flip the house?
Flip
The
everything.
driveway.
Flop the house and the
Flip everything.
driveway.
You mean
Still
move
be
the
in your
house?
test pits. So you're away from the isolated and the 10-foot wall, 11-foot wall.
Probably save on the wall.
Heck, yeah.
And then you're, yeah, like Tracy says, you're still within the test pit, right, to slide the whole system to the right?
Well, we'd probably put our driveway here.
Yeah.
Give it a whirl, see what happens.
We'll give it a whirl and see what happens.
Good one, Steve.
Wall's expensive.
And I would say front entry for the driveway. And you don't have a, if you
we'll
use a
probably go-
poly barrier, you can do the breakout.
Probably.
Less of a breakout.
We're gonna have to go,
Excuse me.
Well, we don't want you to redesign it here, but
yeah, we're
No,
probably
that's-
gonna end up with a small
But
wall
that would keep
here.
everything away from the
But it wo-
resource area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we will look at moving, we'll move the tank over and do a side load, and we'll probably have small retainment here.
yeah, I
So
think
this,
by,
so
so this-
I guess we're saving the wall there.
If the house
we'll
moves
be-
over here, then the
I can't
drive,
move the house over because I need 50 feet. So the house has
Okay,
to
so
stay
it's
so it
not
gets at the
truly a
front.
flip.
Wait.
We're flipping the drive, but we're not flipping.
You need
We're
25.
flipping the house.
Okay, but we're not
Driveway.
flipping and shifting it
We
over.
can't shift it,
No,
that's
it's flipping
correct.
the, well, you're flipping the configuration of the garage in the driveway, right? It's not
Right,
else.
but now we're talking about going inside the 50 here.
Yes.
So it's a trade-off, you know.
Yeah. So the driveway would be inside the 50, but the house will remain exactly
Yeah,
the same.
well, the driveway's inside the 50 here. Basically,
Exactly.
we're still going inside the 50.
Yeah,
And you're still gonna add a wall, but it may not be like a precipice like that one.
correct.
So you've got, the house is set back from the street, how many feet?
Uh,
So you need 50, you need 25 from the
yeah.
side.
The building setback line is here. So
Yeah.
this is somewhat flat here.
Yeah. So as you move it forward.
Wow, you could really
Scooch.
move that up,
Yeah.
yeah.
Scooch and take your shed with
And then
you.
we'll give you, yeah, we'll give you some backyard. Who wants a huge front yard like that? The septic's gonna be there anyway.
Looks like there's some alternatives here.
Yeah, it's not as tight as this one. We need that side yard setback. Any other questions for it?
Yeah, put your split rail behind the shed again, please.
Touching it.
Yeah, stop leaving these gaps for lawnmowers. There's
Yeah.
one here.
For
and there's-
dumping all their oil?
Yeah, or pushing the
clippings.
leaves and the
Oil.
clippings.
Oil.
Yeah.
The 50-gallon drums. And you want your stockpile to be where the,
Yeah,
retaining wall, you want that there?
yep, temporarily, yeah. It's a small one. We don't have much room.
Why don't, I mean, I think we're
Well, when they put
willing
the
to
driveway
help
over
you.
here, they can stockpile right there.
Yeah.
Can't, it's inside the buffer.
Well, it's inside
Oh,
the
you're right.
50
No, I
to the
give you that.
100,
Inside
right?
the 100, yeah.
I'll give you that, though.
So that's my only area. So it's very small. It's temporary, if you will, until the system goes in.
It's cleared, right? That
Mhm,
area
it
is
is.
cleared.
Yep.
I'm good.
Audience?
Anybody in the audience? State your name again, please.
Rebecca Amelia, 81 Old Farm Road. Again, I think with this plan, there's a retainage pond next to it. We're missing a whole bunch of information, not having the contours and the wetlands of the neighboring lot to look at. You're making decisions about this lot without knowing what's next door, and that's, you're looking at one little piece of the puzzle, and that's not enough. Also, boulders holding up a driveway that will erode and be gone in probably one season. It doesn't work. And you cannot have a 10-foot drop. Somebody could drive off the edge of their driveway and the car would go down 10 feet. That doesn't work either. What else is there?
So you have the ANRAD, so you can just continue that wetland line off,
Oh, yeah, it's right
Yeah.
through here, yeah? Oh,
Yeah, just-
Yep, the pond is over here.
yeah.
That's not required
The
to show.
whole site next
that,
door is
though.
a
Not a big deal.
pond.
I know.
But-
So I'm curious, what's holding
jurisdiction
back
is here.
that pond from going over into,
But the buffer zone will still be, the 50-foot will still be
You're worried
it'll
about
be
this pond
in
flooding?
the same area.
yeah, it fills right up.
No, it doesn't. That pond doesn't fill up.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I've seen it fill up. My kids went in it and was
Swimming.
3-4 feet
The
deep.
detention
It's
wall?
supposed to fill up.
3 or 4 feet deep in an instant.
Yeah, it detains
when it
the
rains.
water until
Detains.
it's.
Well,
I mean,
it's
water
slowly-
collects there, but it
Yeah.
doesn't come to the, it
4
doesn't
feet.
come like up. It doesn't come
It
like,
doesn't come up to the
Doesn't flow.
road, but
Right, right.
it could come up to that house. I have no idea based upon.
no,
what
there's a
I'm
hill
looking at
there
here.
too. No, it can't do anything to this house.
you've
Plus, we
seen
have a
this in
wetland in
person.
between, and so any water is gonna run into this wetland, which is what it's supposed to do. The wetland is supposed to absorb the excess water. So, no, you've got a wetland blocking here before you get to that pond, so it's not gonna be a
The pond
problem.
is a subdivision pond.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's built
It's
for,
maintained pond.
it's built for that purpose.
Is it clean? Are there cattails in it?
No.
Has it been maintained?
But the
Yeah, it's nice and
contours-
low.
Is it owned by them?
I would have to see
Oh,
the
okay.
contours of the neighboring lot to be able to tell where the water's going.
Well, if it hits a wetland first, that pretty much answers the question. It's gonna hit this wetland, and that's where we want it to go. So at that point, we're done, because
You want
it,
retainage pond water to go into
no,
wetlands?
the water running off this property will hit a wetland, and wetlands are by nature built to absorb water, and that's where we want it to go to maintain the hydrology of the wetland. So once the water hits this wetland, we're happy with where it is now. And a detention pond, which is really not kind of part of the issue, since we've got a wetland between here and the detention, but for that purpose, that's what it's actually built for as well. We want that to fill with water as well.
Right.
That's its job.
But I can't,
So in both
I
cases.
don't know what it's doing at the property line. there.
What we're
I can't
telling you
tell
is that
from
if
this
it
plan.
goes this way down the property line, there's no problem. It's doing everything it's
I don't
supposed to
think that's what
do.
it's gonna
Gonna
do, though. I
go the
think it's
other
gonna
way.
go in one of those middle contours and go
What, this way?
towards the back of that house.
This is wetland. This is wetland.
No,
This is,
not
so unless
there.
it's gonna go uphill, it's not gonna do anything.
No.
saying the pond?
The pond
You're
is,
afraid
the
of
pond
this?
is low point right here, so it
Well,
would
the
go,
pond's way.
it would go this way.
It's not on the edge, it's over here. And so if you're worried about water going horizontally, water's gonna go down before
I don't know
it
that
goes
it
horizontal.
is at the edge. You can't say if you don't have the drawing of it.
Could you
Brandy,
bring
don't
the
you live,
INRAD in
like,
for the next
have
meeting?
you
That's
seen
what
it
I'm
in
trying to
person?
say.
I have the
There's-
detention basin, I can bring the design plan. in.
There's no way it's gonna impact it.
Who owns
I
that
live
property
there
right
too,
now?
and I know
Cape Crossing
exactly what
does.
we're talking
Okay.
about,
Right,
and
there's a.
there is no, first off, you can't have horizontal water flow here. Water is going to go down with gravity.
I know
So
that.
water's going this way, and as soon as it goes this way, guess what it hits again? There's that darn wetland. So it's hitting wetland every single time.
The road,
It's
the
not gonna
road goes up
impact
5 or
it.
6 feet from.
If it did,
from the
I'd be
basin.
concerned. I
So
mean, I
it's-
would, but
We
it's not
can't
going
tell
to.
without looking at the contours of the neighboring lot.
No, the neighboring lot does not influence water on this lot. I follow the water on this lot, and the water on this
They
lot.
have to connect, the contours have to connect, they can't, the two, they're not independent of each other. The other lot is
The
already
amount of water,
existing.
the
You're saying
place,
that
Existing
detention
already.
pond
They
is
can't
feeding
change
this
the retention
wetland.
pond. So if that doesn't, if that doesn't line
I
up
know,
with it, it
that's what
doesn't
she's trying to
work.
say, though.
I will send you the
the
design
worst that
plan.
could happen is it can go, this is your one chance for any flow right here. The majority of the water on the lot's going this way. There, you know, any flow would be right here. That's not enough to cause a concern when you've got a detention pond next door. It's not even like it's somebody's house next door.
I don't understand
Do you think
what's
that the
point- I
detention
still don't
pond is
understand what
gonna
the point of the
overflow?
detention pond discussion is.
Well, she's concerned that it's gonna overflow, and what I'm saying is
Onto
that
this
there's not.
house's
No, that it's gonna,
property.
well, overflow into the neighborhood, overflow anywhere,
From this lot?
yeah. And it's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying, I don't have that data, so I can't say it's not gonna happen. I don't know how you
It's not
can say
required
it's
in
not
the
gonna happen if
filing
you
to
don't have
have
the contours.
other people's
And even if-
information.
well,
You're
even if
concerned
it-
that the pond is gonna flood this
I
lot?
wanna see the pond on the plan, so I can
Okay.
tell
Okay.
where the water's going.
We'll add
I'm not
some-
saying it is or it isn't, I'm
we'll
saying
add-
it's blank, so I
we'll add
can't
the-
tell.
We'll add the design info to that, to this plan, so you'll see where it is,
I mean, just the
in
mirror
relation to
elevation.
this lot.
Isn't that very,
Okay.
not
I
lower?
mean, look at it, you can,
It's got like a 20-foot bank, doesn't it?
That's what I'm trying to
Is it
say,
detention
there's a
pond?
hill there.
Isn't it 20 feet down? The bottom of the pond is 20 feet below the
Yeah,
road?
it absolutely is.
Yep.
There's no way this is an issue. It can't happen.
Well, and the butter thinks it's a problem,
Right,
and
so
if
we'll get
he's
pictures,
willing
yeah.
I'm
to
gonna
bring it
add
in,
some information to the
that's
plan.
fine.
I
so
mean,
that we
it's
have
no
that.
sense
Yep.
arguing about it
Yep.
because
Yep.
we can't see it tonight, right? And he said he's willing to bring it in, so
Can't see it on there.
good.
Right here. Sorry, you can't see that.
Right there.
Okay.
But this is,
That's
this
a
right
nothing
here,
lot?
that's like 20 feet below
All right.
the road.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how we go out and we do site walks?
Yeah.
Well, there's two of us right now
could
in
push
this
you.
room who have done a site walk.
can
And we
push
both
you
know
in
that
there.
that's 20 feet and you can't fill that sucker
Is
up.
it 20? It's at least 20, right?
Yeah.
but both of these sites are a whole. You're
I'm
not,
trying to
like-
explain to the board,
Okay.
to the other commission
Both of
members.
these sites are a whole.
What we would normally,
Fund is a whole, and
what we
this
would
whole is
normally
next to that.
do is we would normally do a site walk, at least some of us. And what I'm telling you is that I and our agent have been to the site and we both know that it's a 20-foot drop.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean anything. That's a
I'm informing
20-foot
the,
drop,
I'm
too.
informing the
They're
commission
both
of
down
that
in a
fact.
hole from the road. They're both.
I'm done, I'm
All
done.
right, I'm gonna make a motion to continue the public hearing for 68 Woodland Road to April 2nd at 7:45 PM.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And We need a certificate of compliance
Make
on
a
this
motion
one.
to issue the certificate of compliance for 68 Woodland Road due to expiration and no activity under the original order has commenced.
Second. Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Where's our friend? Oh, there he is. He looks like he has an envelope with some plans in it. Alright. From Webster Street.
Oh, good. Yeah. So we have a continuation of our public hearing for 135 Webster Street, Eric Boyko.
How we doing?
Good, how you doing?
No, not too bad. So at the last meeting, I know that for 3 months I hadn't gotten the as-built. Well, ta-da, I finally have the as-built.
Good job.
Actually, I have 2 copies of it just in case. So there's the as-built for the certificate of compliance for the old order of conditions. It does have the as-built date as...
This says garage slab.
That was under the original plan, was to have the garage with that area up there, and that was changed.
Okay.
And the date on here is that August 7/27/15. I'm not even trying to go.
Okay.
So July.
So Douglas is over here, they're over here.
Okay, that way.
Yeah, that's
And
Where
then
the road
is.
your natural heritage
the
has
line.
been disproven, right?
Yeah, that is moved over to Bad Luck Pond on the other
Okay.
side of the road.
All right. And do you want me to
So-
make a motion?
This is for the certificate of compliance.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't see it still on here, but oh yeah.
Oh dear Lord, where's our red? We need our red.
So they overlaid existing house, so they overlaid it on the original plan. So they just did existing house and then the septic, and they overlaid it. See where the tank was supposed to be, and then
Yeah.
the darker is where it is.
It's slightly to the left.
And then this was where the garage was supposed to be, but it doesn't say existing.
Yeah,
garage.
that garage, it was put on the initial order conditions as when I bought the house, it was, here's the house for this price, here's the house and garage
Yeah.
for this price.
Yeah.
I should have done it all at once, but stupid me, I didn't. So
That's
here I am
okay.
2 years later.
Yes, at least you got the plan.
Yeah.
So that is where it is, and the garage is going, your proposed garage is going where this
It's,
garage slab
yes.
is
So
listed.
it's pretty much
Exactly
doing
the
what was
same.
on the original plan back in 2006.
Did you get to see it, Mike?
By the 3rd, 4th meeting, I'm starting to get the hang of it, so
Doing a good job.
I'm trying.
So do we
Yeah.
want to issue the certificate of compliance?
I make a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for 135 Webster Street with the activities completed being the house, septic system, associated grading, excluding the garage as originally permitted.
Second. Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we get to keep this.
All right.
Thank you.
Is that your only copy?
No, I have another one. I've already been to the building department and they wanted a copy of it for their, and I'm gonna make another copy before I give them that one.
Okay, good.
I'm learning not to give away anything.
Yes.
Not until it's built.
No,
Like
and
you burn it
even
in
then,
the
I'm still
fire.
gonna hold on to it.
Okay, so now we have the public hearing. Which I've opened.
Okay. Do we have any outstanding questions except for the as-built plan?
I have, not in my notes, I have nothing else besides
So
that.
you're still planning to do the straw wattles?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a plan for this garage construction?
You want a building plan, or?
know what your site plan looked
I have that
like.
right here.
Okay.
This, well, the old
Did
site
you
plan.
revise anything on
No.
that? Okay.
I wasn't told to do it yet, and
I think it was fine. What
the National
old game
Heritage
plan
Land is
was. So you know you're gonna install this erosion control?
gone. Yeah,
Fake straw wattles?
the original straw wattles are still there somewhat, so I'm just gonna follow the same, I was
Okay,
gonna follow the
good.
same lines.
And refresh those?
Yes.
Okay. And you probably don't need them to go into the woods here. I don't know what you've got in your backyard. Just follow
The tree line.
Yeah, follow
Yeah.
your tree line. And, no stockpiling.
Nope.
So all the material needs to be off-site, hauled off-site. So there's no location for stockpiling.
Okay.
You'll have to have Steve inspect the erosion control before you dig in the ground.
Yes.
Your driveway is asphalt right now,
Yes.
right? Okay.
It is asphalt up to probably about 5 feet closer to the road from the house line.
So you're gonna do an asphalt apron?
Yeah,
To the
I was
driveway?
either gonna do asphalt or concrete. I was gonna do some sort of permanent apron connecting the two.
So we'll permit that as well, an apron to the entrance of the garage from the existing asphalt driveway. And I think that's it. That's all I got.
Anybody in the audience have any questions about this?
And you'll have to make a DEP sign
Mhm.
and have this plan
Yep.
on site.
Yep.
Just in case somebody stops by.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to issue the order of conditions for 135 Webster Street with the conditions previously listed. Second. You don't want me to relist them, do you?
That you just said?
Yeah. Stake straw wattles. Permitted,
Hugging the tree
permeable,
line.
impermeable apron, hugging the tree line of the existing.
And no stockpile.
No stockpiling on site.
All right. Okay,
She's not gonna.
all right, motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you give us a copy of this before?
You guys do have a copy in there. And if it's okay with the committee.
What's the date on this?
Would I be able to get Steve's signature on the building?
You need to record it at the registry.
First.
Okay.
Good try,
It
though.
was worth a shot.
You gotta make your sign. You have to get the
Okay.
straw wattles anyway.
Alrighty, it was worth a shot.
Well, Steve will sign it
Same
eventually.
one?
You gotta
One
record
of
it
31?
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you also need to record the certificate of compliance too.
Okay.
So when they give you that.
Or next time you go to refinance, oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been told is a nightmare.
So,
Unless you have a really good lawyer.
why don't
They
we
forget.
take a discussion item number 2 next?
Oh, so we're moving on? Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you so much.
Thank
Have a good day.
All right, so we're gonna move on to number 2 under discussion, Eagle Scouts, Mozinski Conservation Land on Mumford Street. Massimo Fontaine, is that how you say?
Yes.
You wanna use the computer? Yeah, come on up here. Actually, this cord is long enough.
Yeah, it's the HDMI, yeah.
I might be able to drag it all the way over there.
Right over the table, you could.
Easy, buddy. Don't step on your laptop. It's new.
Not
Warranty.
buying another one.
Like a horse. Yeah, just plug in.
Switch it to the.
You switch it. Do you have on your, does you have like a shift key there, the function key? Sometimes you have to hit the,
Like a source button kind of.
so let's see, function.
You know what?
There's usually a,
It's such a small group, everybody can see the laptop. Why don't you just turn the laptop towards the
you
meeting?
can do that. Okay. Sorry about that.
You just comes right up, so. Yeah, so we don't need to waste your time. I'll let you do the switching.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Maxwell Fontaine.
If you could speak up a little,
Oh,
please.
sorry. Hi, my name is Maxwell Fontaine. I'm a scout with Troop 316. For my Eagle project, that is a community service undertaking involving demonstration of leadership. I'd like to improve sorry about that. The Leon H. Mazinski Conservation Land loop trail on the south to southeast side. That involving building a small bridge and associated boardwalk over a small river that cuts through the path. Clearing the trail of all debris, remarking the trail, and demarking trails which lead to private property. So here's so yeah, there's a picture of the river as it is currently. We'd like to build a 14 feet by 3 foot bridge using laying boards to cross it using pressure treated wood.
Can I ask what's in the river right now? Is that one that's fallen in?
Yes, just found that.
There's nothing there now?
Oh, there's a bridge in the water.
So it looks like,
Yeah. So
that's what it
yeah,
looks like.
yeah. From about here to here would be the 14-foot bridge, and then it's a bit unclear. But after that is a bit of a wetland which you would build over with an approximately 25-foot boardwalk.
Okay.
Alright, so the trail clearing would encompass the entire trail loop, which we have marked here. We went over it and GPS the whole trail as it is now. We would eliminate any fallen trees that we come across, clean up any trash found, and cut back encroaching trees per scouting guidelines.
Where would you put the fallen trees? Just into the forest?
Yes.
Where's the blue line? I can't see it. It says
Um,
blue
Above
trail.
the RA.
You scooch up a little bit.
Hopefully your laptop won't die.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Oh, yeah.
And so the crossing is here or here, because there's two places where the water runs.
Here.
Wait, say that again, here?
Yes. Yeah,
Because the water runs, do you see the line right here?
Yeah, that overlay of that blue line might not be exact.
Right there.
It's not right on.
yeah, the one that you mentioned down here is very easily crossable.
Okay, okay. And so this portion of the trail is on the opposite side of the stream, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure that I was oriented correctly.
So there's a picture of the current trail marking. This is like absolute best condition with pretty much no cloud cover or obtrusive weather. Whenever we went over the trail with rain or if it was dark in the slightest, they were practically impossible to notice. And they only can be seen going from one direction on the loop.
What is that?
That's a trail marking.
Existing trail marking?
Yeah, it's like paint on a tree.
Oh, paint on a tree.
That's his point,
was-
is that it's not doing a good job.
Imagine you seeing a
Well-
marker.
It's like moss.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would be your alternative to this?
We would be using trail tacks, which are just reflective pieces that we would put into the trees. They wouldn't harm them at all. So you could see them in whatever.
How would they be put on the tree?
Just
With nails?
yeah.
Because there are certain, I know, conservation lands I've seen that the nails have to be, say there's a, that's your marker, you have to have them mark the holes for the nails above so that you're not sticking a whole bunch of
Yeah.
holes. Like, you don't want one on this side because then you damage the way the sap comes up the tree twice instead of one time.
Yeah.
So we would want to see the holes above,
And
right above each other.
it would be trail tacks and or repainting them, including some rocks that we could paint.
Okay.
So, in terms of materials for every project, I plan to acquire them by community fundraisers, troop donations, and through the help of local businesses. The bridge building and clearing will be performed by Boy Scout volunteers and myself, which would be overseen by a professional project coach from Troop 316. I would handle all of the trail marking personally, and with respects to the wish of private landowners following the path, that would be coach and peer reviewed. So
Do you have any, just something for our file, because this is actually, crossing a stream. And, I don't know.
Project description.
Project description.
Like your notes,
something
if those were all written up?
showing.
Like on one piece of paper?
And a paragraph form for the project description.
No, not.
Because that's what we would require, is something in writing.
Yeah.
And a type of drawing showing that, like, how wide wide and long was the bridge gonna be?
14 by 3.
So it's
Yeah.
all in his notes. If you just typed up those notes into a paragraph, I think he'd have kind of, what else
Also
would you
throw it
like
out
in
there,
addition to that?
the state forest had some crossing and, the requirements for the wood material and the method. We can also dig those out. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago. They made a couple crossings. So I'd probably want to follow their lead on, durability, and I don't think pressure treated
stability.
was allowed
Yeah.
because of the treatment of the wood in the stream. So I'd probably want to reference
Yeah.
what the state forest did, but the
I
state
think
did.
It was a.
I think the difference though is that it's going, if it's going over and there's no part of it being supported in the stream, I don't think you have that same issue because it's
weren't-
crossing.
Yeah,
There's
it
also
would
a
not be.
boardwalk that's in the wetland.
Well, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That's a different issue from the crossing. I'm okay with the pressure treated for the crossing as long as it's above, although we do have to worry about stability.
Because
However,
can you go back to the picture of the bridge that is already
Only like
existing?
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it
see,
would not be
you don't
supported at
want
all
it wider.
from
You'll
within
get
the
your-
river.
you'll get
now that
motorbikes
bridge is
and the ATVs.
gonna span the entire length of the stream?
14 feet, that's pretty long. Yeah.
Not really, I don't think so.
Yeah, that just gives it extra leeway. Even if it came up to these points here.
Like
still
beyond
wouldn't
the
touch it.
bank's edges,
Yeah.
you're planning on it, so it's
Now,
probably
how
only
much
like
beyond do you think
8
it is
feet.
each side?
How much beyond?
You know the width of
two
the...
feet.
Yeah.
Bank to bank
Yeah.
is probably, you're thinking
To
10
the
feet.
water,
each side?
from where the bridge would start to the water is approximately 2 feet. feet.
2 feet's not a lot if we get any bank erosion. You could end up having this thing slide in.
Plus, it doesn't look like there's really that much bank there. It looks pretty flat.
What's the depth, like, let's just say from
On
the,
one side,
see a bank.
it drops down pretty good. On the other side is where you said the boardwalk would be, is
Yeah, so this is
Muddy,
gentle
basically.
slope, but this
Yeah.
is a drop off right here. See that?
Yeah, but
See
one
how it
side is
stops?
gentle slope.
Yeah.
okay.
So some,
So we
And it
also have
looks
to
like a
figure out what
pallet
the
or something
slope
in
of
there.
the,
the photo's
Yeah,
a little
we'd take
deceptive.
that out.
It is a little, it is like flat, oops, sorry.
oh, those touchscreens get you
Yeah.
every time.
It is a little flatter here than it looks there to put.
So you have to be thinking about the height on both sides, so how far do you actually have to go on that far side to equal the same height as on the steep side, right? Because if it's gentle here, you have to go really far to the other side before you actually have it, because, we have to keep it kind of
It's-
level.
Yeah, it's,
We honestly
It's
didn't put
gen-
that much thought into the construction. This is a very preliminary first.
yeah.
So these are lots of things to think about.
And plus, if the stream, we have to think about safety too, because this is the town land. And the bridge would have to be built well, because if somebody went over it and lost a limb, that they fell through it,
We
or...
need a project description and then the design of the boardwalk as well as the bridge to get approved, and then we can pass it by the town engineer as well.
Well, and-
The bridge part, the boardwalk.
And the
is
boardwalk,
flat.
I think I need some more clarification about, because now we're talking about within a wetland, actually putting something on top of the wetland. And our sole purpose for being here today, right, is that we're supposed to reduce all impacts to the wetland. So having people put boards on top of the wetland soil is not
that are
quite-
chemically treated.
Right.
they certainly don't have, they certainly don't have to
Yeah,
be.
that's the part, well, and it's still even, I would say, having people crossing through the wetland.
They're crossing anyway.
Yeah, right now it's mud, it's worn out mud.
I would,
Yeah.
I
the
think my
first
point is that
decrease or
Carrie
is-
Vandenacker, do you know Carrie Vandenacker, the state forester? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
down at the entrance to Welland Lake?
Yep.
They had a company that came in and they used native logs and they expanded some, for the mid-state trail, areas that were washed out or get saturated with wetlands and whatever. They had a
Right.
system that came in front of the commission probably 2 or 3 years ago that was approved already for doing this type of work, so
Right.
maybe get some of that literature.
I'll tell you what my concerns are, okay, because that is a state forest, so it is run like a park. And park and forest lands are treated very differently from conservation lands and management lands, because the goal of a park is for recreation. So not only is safety first, but often things are made really wide and open, so there's an excessive amount of cutting, an excessive amount of tree limb, because it's like, let's make this really fun for people to come into. That is within the mission of a park.
Right.
This is town conservation land, where the mission is conservation of the resources, and in particular, the wetland resource. So I'm just thinking out loud. So, in my mind, establishing a boardwalk that encourages people to walk through, first off, the boardwalk is on top of the wetland soils. And furthermore, you'd have to do some clearing so people don't get a sharp stick in the eye as they walk through there. So now we're clearing wetland vegetation.
Cleared.
There's an existing path.
No, but you know what I'm saying, along the entire path, you do have to maintain clearance for safety of people passing. So if there is a stick joint, you've got to cut those back. You don't have a choice. I'm not saying that there isn't a path through there. I'm saying it's not a huge, clean park path going through there that's being
I don't
maintained.
think that's the intent.
But let me finish. These are the concerns
Yeah.
that are just coming to my mind,
Yeah.
okay? If you put a boardwalk on top of a wetland, you are, again, compressing the wetland soils. 2, you are clearing the trail from any possible dangers to the people walking through. So there's a certain amount of clearing that has to happen. 3rd, you're encouraging people to go through there, which I don't care if people are going to go through a mud trail. The ratio of people who are going to go and get muddy is significantly smaller than the ratio of people who are going to walk on a boardwalk. So you are, in fact, encouraging additional traffic through the wetland, which usually increases things like litter through the wetland as well, and also off-trail exploration. I'm not saying no, I'm just saying these are things that all have to be thought about when we remember that this land was purchased and gifted with the idea that it is not parkland. This is not a state park, it's not a town park, it's not even a town forest, it's a conservation property through the wetland commission. So, our first priority has to be to the wetland. So these are just the thoughts going through my mind now as we talk about how much impact we're setting into the forest and into the wetlands. Things to think about, that sometimes access is a great thing and sometimes access is not a great thing. It really depends on what the mission is for that land and what our obligation is to that property. So things to think about.
Where did this trail come from?
People using it.
It was existing.
So it's existing and it's not like, it's already there. It's earth, but the trail is there, and it comes up to this little stream.
So do you want to maybe see this as like two-phase? See it as picking up the litter and, marking the trail?
Trailblazing and.
So maybe like a
We're not-
two-part?
We're not trail.
Well, reblazing the trail, like remarking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
It wouldn't
updating
be-
it.
And just to your point, this parking there's a designated parking area for 6 cars, so this.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I've been there many, many times. I know this area well. So, and I know the trail, and I know how it wanders off too. So I agree with you entirely. That it just, where am I? Trails, it's easy to lose it. But I certainly know the area. Providing parking, so just to clarify my point, providing parking does not necessarily designate something as a park. We provide parking at preserves, we provide parking at management areas, none of which are considered parks, and none of which are made inviting to excessive amounts of people, even though there's parking there. It's supposed to be for off-trail usage, like walking and hunting, and things where you don't necessarily need a trail to actually utilize the property. So I'm just throwing that out there to remember that if we ask for standards from the park, if we ask for advice from Carrie, just keep in mind that that is what he's going to do based on state park regulations and state park standards.
Yeah, I was
And
just
that's-
looking for the material and construction.
Okay, but I'm
what
also
they
thinking
used.
about things like width and whether or not we even want to put in, what do they require for stability of a crossing?
Is there any other opportunity for the trail to maybe be adjusted to a shorter distance over, what is
It could
the
stay,
makeup
it
of
could
the,
stay on our side of the, you could not cross over.
but then they would have to blaze the new
Or
trail.
exactly.
Yeah,
and then-
it's other, like, to the left and right here on both sides, that's all, like, skunk cabbage and thorns,
You know the
So it's not a
distance?
channelized.
You know how long the trail is?
How long the trail is in total? Would you,
It's from parking to loop all the way back to parking is 0.6 miles.
0.6. Oh, that's good.
0.6.
See, it's good to know. So you're gonna put like maybe how far you are for people for what?
0.6 miles.
You're 0.2, you're 0.3, you're 0.4.
I don't know.
You're almost there. It's half a mile. Okay, so I kind of see. So I think we need some more information, documentation.
Yeah.
I would not be opposed to doing a letter sweep through there. I love that idea. I think it's great, and I don't mind what Linda said about the nailing. Proper nailing procedure. I would just pass into Steve to see what you're actually going to do, and you could start rolling with that. We just need to probably explore a little bit on the crossings and the boardwalk.
Yeah, because another concern is I'd like to make sure that is this bridge just going to be slapped down there? And because what's going to keep it from tilting or
Sliding.
I think it needs to have a
Yeah, and I
permanent
would
stabilization.
And I would maybe look for an
Foundation.
alternative crossing if it's not very
Unless that's the
impactful.
narrowest point.
Well, he's saying it's a BBW. It spreads out to a BBW on either side. So this is the only channelized area.
Well, and your point, which is choosing another location means more trailblazing, so.
Okay.
So
I think it's a
we
good
need
start.
Yeah.
Yep, something in
Got
writing
some stuff to work on.
your notes, and then maybe a detailed drawing of the bridge and the boardwalk.
yeah.
Who will actually construct this crossing? How do you look at that being done? I mean, it's,
Any volunteers from Troop 316, and
it's not like you're going to raise the money and hire somebody that's some qualified firm to maybe do that.
He can't do that, he will get his Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
It's not the Scout way.
Get his Eagle
Get it
Scout.
done.
we would have professionals.
You guys have experience building crossings?
Sure, guidance.
We can
There.
get someone to volunteer to supervise that has a building license. That should be
Good job.
Okay, so,
So you're pretty
Expect to see
clear
you
on
back.
what we're looking for
Yeah.
information?
okay.
And that you can get rolling with the litter and the markings, and then maybe look for an alternative
Yeah.
to the bridge.
If you have any questions, Steve, you can give him a call,
Steve,
and he'll
myself,
bring it
Bill,
before the board.
help out.
Thank you. Oh, yes.
You were
Could
asking
you
about...
state your name, please?
I'm sorry, Dawn Fontaine,
Oh, okay.
Maximus mother. The Eagle Scout requirement for has a workbook that needs to be completed, and they would ask you, as the one who's benefiting from the project, to sign off. There's a lot of things that you're talking about are on there, the form. We need someone from the commission to be officially the spokesperson, saying that you'll understand what's going on, and there's a whole write-up that needs to happen with it, so we could work on that write-up and then pass it along to whomever would, kind of be in charge. And there's a whole-
So you need that after the project is completed?
I'm
Is that what
not
you're
sure
saying?
exactly where it falls in. I think, probably once he gets started with this, the first phase, we'll call it, and then we can come back with that, but we can always reach out by email first for some of the...
Okay, good. And you have the email, Steve's email?
Steve's on the website, so...
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Great
All right,
visuals. Thank you
yes.
very much for the PowerPoint.
State your name, please.
Mary Chagrisino, 54 Cross Street. I just wanted to say that I walk this area all the time. It's right near my house. And I've seen bicycle riders in there going across. It's all, and the pallets, I've been walking it for 10 years. And hunters put the pallets in there, and they're blocking up the river, the stream. So having a bridge, I think, is probably better than having, there's also dirt bike riders that go in there sometimes going across. I've seen a car, tracks from a car coming in from Manchog and going across all the way to Mumford. So anyway, having some sort of bridge or something I think would cut down on some of those problems.
Do you think it would encourage the biking and the
Well,
motor?
there's one guy I
rise?
see, there's one neighborhood guy that rides around, I've seen in the woods.
Bicycles,
There's
it
always
doesn't
one
really
guy.
matter, but...
Yeah.
They do, but that's the traditional conundrum, which is,
I
as
know.
soon as you make something less damaging for one, you actually just invited 20 more to come.
They go
So-
wherever they want anyway.
Well, so
The
the
one
problem
that
is
I-
that the ones who want to get muddy will actually go right alongside the bridge because they enjoy the mud splash. And so now you've got the bridge allowing lots of people using it. In addition, you've got the mountain bikers making the ruts on either side of the bridge. So that's, again, one of those things where as you encourage usage, you end up with 3 times the problem. So I agree that having people go through there is not great right now, but actually building the bridge can lead to many greater problems because people just aren't always nice if they would just use the bridge. And,
Make the bridge really narrow, like this wide. And then a bike is afraid to go over it because it's like, oh, I'm not sure if I can keep my bike straight enough for that long.
That's not quite exactly, what I'm saying is that mountain bikers enjoy the mud.
Right.
So they will literally on purpose go to the left or to the right of the bridge. And therefore they start rutting out the sides of the bridge.
I don't think it needs to be 3 feet wide, though. I mean, you could make it, I've seen trails that are like this wide.
We have safety issues too. to consider.
Yeah, and the additional with 3 feet, especially for the boardwalk, that's what helps it so that people aren't going in the mud. That's the only way we can cover it so that it's not affected. If it were to be more narrow, then it would be sitting in the mud.
We can research it.
Yeah,
Plus,
there's a lot of
Steve,
recommendations out there.
Can you check out
And
on
with it only
the
being 0.6 miles, I
liability
don't think
issue
mountain bikers are gonna,
on this?
0.6 miles would take them
We
both 4
have
minutes.
This guy just kind of rides through to get to the other
structure,
road.
even though they might be supervised by parents.
Mountain bike.
Okay.
I'd hate to say, okay, you're all set, and then at the final minute, somebody puts the squash on it, and it's in higher authority than us, and says,
Well, they would have a hold harmless liability release for us anyway.
because right now we
Just
don't
get
have
that.
anything on any of our properties like this.
Yeah, but it's probably says at your own risk on the sign. It's always at your own risk.
Well,
They
It's
would
worth
hold-
checking.
they
It's
would-
worth having somebody.
I would say
Yeah.
better be safe
Dot the
than
i's,
sorry.
cross t's.
Yeah, they can sign the paper.
So maybe, I don't know, ask town council or the town administrator?
I'll pass it on to town administrator.
Okay, and maybe get something in writing back, what he thinks.
You get a
It's a
certain
good
amount of
idea.
liability the way it is now.
Yeah.
Well, somebody
Anybody
threw
can
some
go out
pallets
there.
in there
Yeah.
No,
illegally.
actually, there's a
20
really big
years ago.
difference between something that is left as neglect. In other words, there is actually a legal difference between something that is left in a natural state that people are utilizing at their own risk because they choose to. As soon as you add things like gates, walkways, crossings, those are considered legally invitations to pedestrians, and you have just
Saying,
elevated your
"Walk on
liability.
this."
So legally,
Yeah.
you actually have changed the very nature of our liability on the property as soon as you start adding that. You know, the parking lot is one step, but as soon as you go beyond that and start adding, you know, literally physical walkways, you've actually changed it. So it's worth getting the written notice from the council, town council, and making sure that we've taken care of.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's true. I do think there's a bridge that's in the water with a pallet on top of the bridge, and if there was a bridge there.
If that counts for anything.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine removing the pallet.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
If I may, there was a good point made a minute ago. Which is that bikers and motorbikers, if that's the word.
Yeah.
They would take this direction if specifically that one guy we were talking about would take this path, which would not go over that bridge, to get to the other side here, and that's and to get through here is most definitely not for normal hikers, even hunters to an extent.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you very
Okay, I look
much.
forward to it.
Thank you.
Do you need to come in again, or?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
Okay, so, but we shouldn't set that up yet.
If you have we need the the scope of the work.
In writing.
And the plan for the crossing. So there's still
If you're gonna proceed with
planning
the-
you've got to do.
With the crossing and the boardwalk.
Yeah, so then we would just email.
And any pruning of the trail and the exact, just have something in writing.
Yeah, okay.
So if you wanted to start with the letter pickup and the markings, you can just let Steve know.
Awesome,
Okay.
please,
And just let him know what the markers
Okay.
are gonna be, the nailing pattern for the sap.
If I may, I'd just like to hear your thoughts on the D marking, because there's at least 2, if maybe even 3 trails that, actually 3, maybe 4, that lead right into private property, and so we would create markers that would actively discourage going in those directions.
Like what type? What are they gonna say?
Red.
End of trail?
Yeah.
I'll put up a dead end sign.
There's a no trespassing when we hit the end of that. There was a private property sign there.
Often what's done to discourage use of
or
trails that are
those.
unauthorized is you simply lay one of the logs across that trail. That is the sign to anybody coming along that you do not go down this side of it, you continue on this way. So that doesn't really require any trail marking, and you let the private property signs do the business at the other end of it. But generally, just a log across the trail is the mark that says you're not supposed to be down here.
Yeah, because to put up a sign on, that says private property at the other people, you know. I think we need to keep it more on our trail.
Yes. Yeah, I
Not
think
saying
the
that
log's
somebody
a great
else's
idea.
property is
Yeah.
private property, 'cause
Right.
that's their business.
Only, yeah.
Yeah. Good luck, okay. Sorry to keep everybody waiting.
Thank you.
Thank you, good night. We have a public hearing for 41 Crescent Street. Continuation, lot 11.
Do you want me to close out the certificate of compliance?
We didn't do that?
No. Why is it partial? 'Cause
The
we may-
Webster Street?
No, we may want to close out number 5 and number 6. I'm assuming, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So it was partial
You're waiting for
because,
them to request a certificate, was it? I
no.
wasn't here at the last
No,
meeting.
we didn't, they didn't advertise. No, they didn't, put it, they advertised and they didn't put a notice of intent in, right? Last couple times.
For,
Are you coming up for Crescent Lane?
yes,
Okay.
So it expired and we told them to
Right.
file for a partial COC.
Why do we say partial, is what my question is.
because there was some work done.
Because, yeah, there
some of
was
the
some
work
done.
was done, but it's not complete.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, you weren't here.
Question,
Oh jeez, did you hurt your hand? Alright, so I'll make a motion to issue the partial certificate of compliance for 41 Crescent Lane.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Right. Just in case we close this out.
Okay.
So this is number 5?
Yeah,
Okay, aye.
so then we can issue the new one anyway.
Okay.
just to refresh your memory, and
Introduce yourself, please.
Norman Gamache with Curio and Helen, I'm representing the applicant. These are the last two lots at the bottom of the hill on Crescent Lane, on the right-hand side of the road. There are two lots there, they're gonna be accessed with a common driveway. This is lot 11 over here. Septic system is outside the 100-foot buffer. The house is between the 50 and the 100, and some of the grading for the driveway is between the 50 and 100.
Is that number 41 or 45?
Is this cleared?
41.
Is this
Yes.
a cleared area and then
The whole,
it was detention pond?
there's a
Down
yeah,
here?
very long pond over here.
Yeah,
Okay, that
Okay.
runs all the way down this way.
yeah. And then
Okay.
there's some kind of
Steve has
structure
pictures too.
I do?
Oh, I thought you did.
and then it pops out to south.
No, I
Is that
There's
right?
another, there's a driveway that goes out to South
It was just
Street,
an
because there's
aerial.
another lot
Yeah,
below
GIS.
us.
Oh, the
Okay.
GIS, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got that. I know where we are.
You don't
This is
need
all
to see a
cleared.
picture?
No,
Oh,
this
okay.
is all
Never mind.
cleared.
It is, it's wide open.
I've been here, I think, around here. Remember we did a sidewalk like 8 years ago?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
I,
you
before that, I did it
printed
like
the
5 years
pictures.
before that.
That is the,
Yes, yeah.
but that is the
Yeah,
excavation.
here we go.
On one lot in the
Yeah.
house, right.
And it was going up into the hill the last time this was planned.
Yep.
Okay, all right, that's when we issued the order.
And so, the erosion control is up. The
Yeah.
site is cleared.
Yeah.
The cellar hole's been dug,
Okay,
and the hole for the septic system has been excavated.
okay,
So what happened was, they went to file for their building permit.
Yeah.
And Steve looked at it and said, you have a problem because your order of conditions is expired.
okay,
So that's why we came here with the new notices.
okay.
And we wanted to bring up the fact that we had an open order that we couldn't totally close out because the work wasn't completed, but it was started.
Okay,
So that was the,
all right,
That
I'm
was the
good with
issue.
this. You guys all
So house and septic now.
The cellar hole's already
So the
dug.
new,
that's already open and this is
That's
already
outside.
prepared. Yeah, they're ready to bring in the gravel.
More, yeah, it's really
So
more of
how
a
did the-
paperwork thing.
How did
Yeah.
the cellar hole get dug without a building permit?
I don't ask, I don't know.
I'm just
We
wondering.
were just called. and-
Curious minds.
They don't need
How
one to
dare
build
you.
it.
Right, they need one for
Really?
the foundation.
Ex-
Not from us.
Excavation.
I mean, I don't have to sign off on it.
Excavation inspection, of course you do. Of course. Bottom of the hole.
That's, usually
Cats
beyond,
out of the bag
beyond,
thing?
it's behind me because they don't
Did you
usually
do
call
it?
us for that.
You did this, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You dug the cellar
I
hole.
wouldn't do that.
All right, I'll make a motion to issue the order of conditions for 41 Crescent Lane
Close public hearing.
and close the public hearing.
Second.
Where's the well? All in favor?
Aye.
Black marks.
It's already there. Well, that's the silly pit
got
too.
it. Okay,
See, if I had done it, I would have given him his order of conditions and said, look at your order before you start
That's
your work.
good, that's good.
You just missed it too, right? Like 6 months?
Yeah?
I'll make a motion to issue the partial certificate of compliance for 45 Crescent Lane.
Oh, wait, so are we moving on to the next one
Yes.
here? Did we need to open it up or anything?
No, I'm just addressing the discussion.
we can do
so that we
the
can-
certificate of compliance.
Okay.
The partial.
Okay, second that.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so 45 Crescent.
45 Crescent Lane is the last lot on the right. There's a common driveway that will run through that lot, number 45, lot number 10. The house and septic system are outside the buffer zone. The well is right on the edge of the buffer zone, and this is being, the notice of intent is for this grading that's between the 50 and 100. And for this work here, which is, water does actually run in this direction. It's just overland flow. It's not a wetland. But we need to pick it up and get it underneath the driveway. So there's a little excavation that's going to happen here, and a pipe's going to be put under the driveway and discharged into this detention basin.
Directly? Or what's the distance from the detention basin to that pipe? And what's the size of the pipe?
15-inch pipe. It's just picking up overland flow coming through there.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, it's just depositing it into the grading, or?
But what happens, there is water that runs across, because this lot grades like this.
Right, but I'm saying, once it comes out of the pipe, what happens after it comes out?
It goes right into this basin. This is a long,
See it?
so yeah, there's a pipe
Swale.
right there.
Right here.
That's what, yeah.
Right here.
It's big right here. Right here.
Okay, so that hasn't been installed yet?
The pipe has not been installed.
And this is a paved drive?
Exists.
That is a paved driveway.
And what's the other brown, the part that you're digging out?
This,
Is that riprap or something?
just grass. That's just grass, and
Okay,
we're just
so
gonna
it'll be-
create a swale.
Grass swale
Yep.
into the pipe?
Stone line grass swale, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you asked that question.
And the erosion control is already installed over there?
It's not installed over here yet. It starts right after that and comes all the way up through here like this.
Okay. And what's the distance from, is it 0 to 50 right there? Where the pipe is?
Yeah, this is 50, that's 100,
Yeah, okay.
okay?
But from the wetland to the pipe is 50?
This pipe, it's
Yeah.
gonna be right at the edge of 50, yes. Oops.
Where is the actual wetland area? Is it-
This wetland is actually up gradient of all the work. There's no wetland below it. This is just up gradient. There was no connection.
So when you're making that driveway and then the space between the riprap, what's going on right there at that little curve, the little elbow? The orange, the end of the line, yep, up,
Right in there?
up, nope, keep going up, right
She's
there.
So
Right
why,
there?
why
Yeah.
isn't this hugging the road? Why did you keep it on the,
And then it has a
on the wetland
weird-
side of the 50
Yeah, it's
instead
a
of
weird,
smushing it up to the road?
Kind of curve in the driveway.
We could certainly move it.
I just don't know what's gonna be happening in between there.
I would imagine they're just gonna,
Level it.
well, they're gonna put grass in there.
gonna be a level edge.
This is gonna be higher. There's gonna be a short slope between
But I
between
just
here and
don't
here.
want any need for mowing like towards the wetland.
I don't think you need to mow it. I think it's gonna be just
it's gonna be-
stabilized.
Oh, okay.
And then
What's the planting? Did you specify on that?
we did not specify there.
Because you're gonna be within the 50?
No, not there. That little wedge is not.
No.
I can't
The
really
swale is, so the orange line, the brown line, whatever,
Right.
cuts
Okay.
right along the edge of that swale. So the swale is inside the 50.
It is.
Okay.
Seems like you could use almost the same amount of area right against the road and stay the hell out of the 50, couldn't you?
Well, I need to do some grading between,
Sloping.
that driveway has to be up above that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're using this to keep the water in the swale, and the swale's
You're kind of
being-
going like that
Yes.
from the drive into,
Okay, I see.
I guess it's okay, but it's not gonna be, that's not going to be what's in the field, like that area, the little turn thing right there.
I haven't done an as-built there, but there was a drain, see, there was already an access road that was created here because the drainage comes off the street and runs down
Yeah, I
the
remember,
center of
yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then,
that was the old access to the tree farm.
Yes,
Right,
okay,
remember
yeah.
yep, the one that came up off of South Street.
So what's water doing now across that street?
Sheep flowing.
Well,
Oh,
it's
across the
tunneling
street.
right up above it.
Show me.
The tree farm.
No,
Tunneling
across
right
the
up in
street.
here.
Across the street.
From the
If water
street.
comes from the street, where's it going?
Oh, this water goes like into here. Here's the catch basins, and it takes the water down like this, and it takes it into this
Okay.
head wall right there.
So you're putting the driveway over the pipe? Over the drainage pipe?
It's the drainage, this pipe's already in, it's
Already
already
buried?
covered. We're gonna be on top of it. We'll be over it.
Will that pipe eventually be part of the town? I mean, is that a right of way? That goes to the,
I don't
It's a driveway.
Who's
Yeah,
gonna
but
maintain
the pipe goes
That's an
to
easement.
these,
for easement for who?
Well, the
Where
town-
is the
there's
easement?
there is an access easement that runs all the way through here, up here, all the way out to South Street.
Emergency.
Yep.
And if something happens with that pipe, we'll
And
have to
the-
repair the person's driveway, right?
got it.
Right, Norman?
24-inch RC pipe, I don't think.
You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
it gets blocked.
Well, I don't know.
The easement
All right,
was
guys.
reserved when the subdivision was
any
created.
call.
so-
But this plan was already the same one we approved years ago, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but we're so much wiser now.
Make a motion to close the public hearing and issue the order of conditions for 45 Crescent Lane.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. Sorry, I missed you last time.
I saw you run out the door.
Yeah, my mama was here.
Okay, so I guess we're moving on to the
We can-
public hearing.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
we're moving on to the public hearing? I thought we issued the notice of
Of
intent.
what? What do
We
you
already
want
did
now?
that. Oh,
45.
We
We
just did
closed
that.
it.
Yeah,
We
okay.
did both.
And we've already done the certificate of, partial
Okay.
certificate of compliance.
So,
Before I issued the order.
yes, I know that.
So we're all
You're free to
set.
go.
Oh, good.
Unless you want to stay.
Well, no, I just wanted
Unless
to
you're
make sure.
presenting the next one.
Well, I was gonna ask about picking up the order of
Of
conditions
course.
tomorrow.
Next week. I'll
Oh,
call you.
okay,
I'm just kidding.
that's all right.
Talk to Maria. We'll sign it tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, she has it typed up. Yep. So we'll sign that.
Thank you. Well, I'm not, I have something else to talk about.
Okay. All right, let's see, we have another public hearing for 42 Huff Road, Bonnie Johnson. Anybody here for this one? And no DEP number? You okay?
yes, yes. So this is a new one? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, good.
'Cause I
Can
got
you check
nothing.
on the DEP number?
I will.
As of
Okay.
when I left.
The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Bonnie Johnson on March 5th, 2018, at 8:40 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. Proposed work is to be done at 42 Huff Road and involves the demolition of existing dwelling and construction of a single-family dwelling with associated earthwork, landscaping, and utilities within the 100-foot buffer zone.
Good evening, my name is Travis Brown with Andrews Survey and Engineering. Also here tonight is Mr. Dennis Shadler, who'll be building this house. This is for a filing, notice of intent filing for 42 Huff Road. For plan reference here, Huff Road is here on the page. There's an existing driveway from Huff Road through this right-of-way up into this house lot, which is here. We've delineated some wetlands towards the back of the lot, this green 50-foot buffer zone and the 100-foot buffer zone. The existing house is in this location outside of the 50. The proposed house will be built exactly within that footprint of that existing house. There's an existing septic system that we don't plan to upgrade. There's an existing well, same thing, that's going to be utilized. There's no trees to be cleared within this project. This is all falling within that existing lawn area.
Are you reusing the foundation or are you doing brand new?
It's on piers right now, so it will be put on a foundation.
And any stockpiling? Did you have a location for that?
We don't anticipate changing any grades. The material taken out from the foundation will be trucked off-site.
Okay. So no stockpiling on site. And you have your erosion control at the street edge?
Yes, so it follows the edge of the driveway, wraps around the rear of the property line, and then up here, comes back out to the driveway.
What is that circle thing that you went around?
That's the approximate area of the septic system.
Okay. It's accessible?
There's a cover here. I don't know exactly what that is. Is it a conventional system?
Yep.
With a tank and a... Well, I don't think we had records on it, or maybe the Board of Health didn't
You have
have
some
records.
records on that? Or do you know when
I
it
don't
was
have records
replaced?
on it, but as far as I was told, it's a septic system.
Do you pump it?
I have no idea. I would assume she has had it pumped.
You're not touching the existing well, right?
We're not touching the
So
existing
I'm just
well.
curious, why is the erosion control going around the property?
Yeah, we were under the impression that we were clearing these. I've been informed tonight that we are not.
So how about the erosion
So on
control
that
hugs the tree
revision,
line?
we-
Very nice. Very nice.
So we need a revised plan.
Let's see the video.
Yeah. There's no grading proposed on the back side of the house, right?
There's no grading proposed.
Okay.
So is this the house here? Maybe.
That's somebody else, that's the neighbor's house.
We're behind.
Oh, that's across the street, okay. So, where are we? So that's the house here.
Correct.
So I'm walking. Wetlands is off to the left.
And it's just a BVW?
Yeah.
No intermittent stream, right?
It feeds a stream, right?
Yeah, I think that runs down towards Huff Road, I believe.
Rock? There's a wetland?
There's a flag there, so.
Standing water.
So this area collects and it goes, channels into a little stream, crosses Huff Road.
Okay.
And it's like a stone line, it goes out to the lake, so you can see the stream that goes out to the lake is flowing.
Okay. All right.
Comes from here.
Okay.
That's it.
It's not really much, I mean, they're staying in the same footprint.
Yeah.
I got no issue.
Well, we just need to get the revised plan for the erosion control.
Yeah, I'd like to keep
That
them out
way
of the
that
corners, yeah.
There's
keep them
no
out of the-
cutting of any more trees. And
Yeah, that looks
we
good.
have a good plan. And we need a
Get a
DEP number. Do you know if it's been issued yet? Because I don't see
It
it.
hadn't by the time I left today,
Okay, so we got to continue it anyway. Okay. Any questions, board? That's it? Steve?
No?
Okay. So we got to continue it to,
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing for 42 Huff Road to April 2nd at 8 o'clock.
Second.
Do you want me to write it in?
motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you then.
Thanks for waiting.
Thanks, have a good night.
Yeah.
Norm, you had something else? We won't keep you here till midnight, because I'm sure that's where we're heading.
Why?
Well, we get to the other flip side.
No, it's all done.
This isn't
Except
gonna
for-
take.
Oh, yeah, I was so not even.
You did them all.
Except for
Well, we gotta sign up stuff, that's fine.
Sorry, yeah, focus,
All right,
focus.
this is the easement that runs from Sleepy Hollow out to
Oh, right,
Davis Street.
Oh, yeah.
This is the subdivision road. It goes through that hill underneath the brook, comes up and goes around this little wetland. Well, my client would like to, instead of going around this way, go straight across and do a temporary crossing of this wetland over here.
A temporary crossing,
Which means once we're done, we
you what?
replicate it. We just,
Well, that's not a temporary, that's a replication.
well. when
That's
you-
destruction.
It's a,
That's not temporary.
if you looked at what's over here, anything we do there is gonna be an enhancement. This place is full of junk. And there are several large pine trees over here that we would like to save. They're not shown on the plan, unfortunately. I went there today, took pictures, but they didn't
Do we have
come out
pictures?
so great.
Well, let me see if I have them on my hard drive.
This wetland on this side, there's a ditch, a hand-dug ditch that goes like this, goes this way. There's a little structure back here, and then where it goes, nobody knows.
Where's the pine trees that you're trying to avoid?
They're right up in here.
So why don't you just cut right next to it and go over here?
Well, we tried to stay outside the 25-foot buffer.
No, but now you're going right
What?
through.
Now we're gonna go, well,
We're gonna go
we can
straight.
go through
What I'm
with a
saying is, if
temporary
you're trying to
alteration.
avoid something here, then just go right next to it, right here, and stay out of the wetland. I mean,
No
there seems like,
replication needed.
it seems like there's an obvious solution here that
Just a little
saves the pine
squiggle.
trees and
Yeah.
saves this, and I know a straight line is easier for y'all, but no, you don't fill in a wetland because it makes a straight line.
It's like the
Well,
worst offense.
it would still be a wetland, but the pipe would be underneath it.
Right.
Yeah, after you destroy it and then act like you're gonna replicate it, we all know replications don't
Never.
function like original wetlands, so you've ruined it.
So what are you thinking is a comfortable temporary disturbance from that wetland edge
Just,
to avoid the trees?
well, how far is that? I mean, what's the
25.
distance?
I'm
20
saying he
feet?
just
25
shifts it
feet.
over, he's got room
To
there.
avoid the trees.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we're doing this.
I
right?
guess so, is that the only reason why
I
you're
can
doing
locate the
this?
trees, that's one of the reasons, yeah.
What's
Plus
another reason?
Cleaning this area up.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of debris there. There's a lot of.
Why do you have to move a road to clean an
Oh,
area
it's
up?
just a water
Well,
line.
Or a water line, why do you have to move a water line?
Well, we gotta get in there to put
This
the
is
water
best
line
I have
in.
right here.
Do you see any trash or
Well,
debris?
where I'm on this backside,
Bridge. Oh, is that what you're talking about?
no, he's talking more towards the road. This is towards
Whose
the
is
street.
this?
Yeah. that's
Whose is this in the wetland?
What?
It's just,
all
that's
that
the
stuff.
debris he's talking about. Where
Who's-
exactly is
That's
that?
not in the
That's
wet-
been there.
That's in the back, there isn't a wetland, I believe that's back here.
That's over there. You're
Yeah.
talking more towards the front?
This is way up.
Yeah, I don't
at the
think I have
front.
anything in the front.
But those stakes, still there.
Well,
Were for,
You would see the pine trees if you follow that line.
so, I need more information.
Okay, but rather than go through the wetland, you'd rather see us go around the wetland.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a shame. Yeah, that's always going to be our answer. Yeah.
This is a very insignificant area
Well, but that's our job, to protect the wetland.
in debris. So we'll file to take the debris out.
It can be hand-picked out.
I don't know, show me a picture, show me what we're talking about.
Okay.
I definitely need, so
The
you should,
trees,
to get
the
into
tree
that.
locations and the debris, and then we've got to avoid the trees.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way I'm voting for putting a water line through a wetland.
Because there's plenty of.
No matter how
room
sad
right
that little
there.
wetland
Yeah.
is, there's no way I'm gonna vote for that.
Do you have it going in the other direction, Steve? Going back out towards the street?
Well, that's
Not
it.
when there's a clear
That's
path
only out through the
adjacent to
street,
I don't know what it
actually.
looks like.
That's the only one I have.
Well, unless there's a brick wall in the way, they can go there, because they can cut down trees over there. So what I'm saying
I would
is,
prefer not to cut the trees.
I would say anywhere in here that you can make it, if you shift it a little, you shift it a lot, whatever, but yeah, you just don't go
I'll
through
get
there if you
those
don't need
trees
to.
located. Okay? And I'll show
Whereas
you
I would say
how
cut
we
the
can
tree
avoid
down.
'em.
So are you thinking 10 feet from the
No, if he
edge?
tells me he's gotta go 6 feet from the edge, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so let's try to
Get the
avoid the
trees on
trees.
What
Yeah,
are the,
just
and
the
they're
ones
just
that
white pine?
Are near there.
They are white pines, but they're,
What's the condition of them?
they're in pretty good shape.
Okay, just asking.
Super
All right.
tall,
I mean,
like
no,
this big.
Okay.
The bottom of white pines, those branches tend to die.
Yeah.
And these things are like that big.
Yeah.
They're at least 30 inches in diameter, and they have to be at least 50 to 60 feet high. And the top story is in good shape. It's the bottom, the bottom branches, once they get up way above, those branches die off. And so they're just brittle.
All right, get us more information,
Okay.
so we don't have a later night than we need to already.
No,
Let's
that's
go.
gonna keep your hair long. I just wanted to
Awesome.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank you.
Norm.
broach the subject. Thank you very much.
50 Southwest
Thank y'all.
Main. Oh, you already did that update. And then you want to continue that number 10 certificate of compliance for Anthony.
Yes,
Okay, we're continuing
he
that.
requested it.
Sign vouchers, minutes. Ready to go on nights?
All right, North Street Bridge, which I'm sure you are all well aware of, that it has been detoured.
Yes.
And it's
One
like
way,
a
though.
one-way now.
The one we just built?
Because the old culvert was just paved over.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
We won't mention any names.
So do we want to?
So we have a plan, and we need to sign the
Does it have two
emergency
Fs?
certificate.
Does it have 2 Fs in the name?
So wait, what number are we on here? Where's our
We're just,
emergency on here? Is he not on here?
no, it was handwritten on mine right here.
It's just an emergency.
So this is all they're doing. Actually have a plan.
Whose plan is this? First of all.
I'm sure it's our Bill Cundiff. And the original people who fixed the
Freeman,
bridge.
Peterson, Inc.
Yes, the original people who fixed the bridge
Yes.
weren't working in this area. And when it started to erode, that wasn't even,
So
when...
could you show me where they were working previously?
This is the stream, this
It
is
was
the
that,
corner.
right?
This corner.
Yep, where it was buckling away.
It makes you wonder though, what kind
pushed it over
of
here.
machinery did they park
Yeah.
right here?
Yeah.
What kind of heavy
doesn't-
equipment got?
This
Why,
is
for
the
the
road.
No, it's an old stone culvert
It's an arch.
that goes underneath the entire roadway, and it must have just...
There used to be
The arch
the axe
collapsed.
mill.
That's what I'm trying to say though, why do you think it suddenly
Oh.
collapsed? Let's see, we just did major
I'm a little
construction.
slow.
No, just right here.
I know that, but
But
you
over
have
here-
machines that do the work and then they back up.
I would have to say
No,
that
they
it's
weren't in here.
It's an
They were
erotic
working.
situation.
No, during the event...
Yeah, I'm saying you need to park near where you're working. Big trucks came through there and some of them were right on top of that son of a gun.
Right now, tankers go over this road.
But they don't park and sit for hours on end while
Yes,
work is being
but
done.
nobody knew that this was happening. It wasn't exposed until the street fell down.
I get it, that's what I'm saying
okay.
though.
Stress crack.
Yeah, I'm
Was
saying,
caused by the big trucks
what do
sitting
you
there.
think set this in motion is what I'm saying. Yuck, yuck, yuck. We only just did major construction on this.
I
There's a
wonder
reason
they
why
didn't
this
fix it.
happened
They didn't
now.
fix it when they discovered it last summer,
They discovered what last summer?
didn't they? That culvert?
Still going on.
Yeah, but it wasn't broken then.
They discovered it was there or they
Yeah,
discovered it was
It
cracked?
was there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, does that mean that they gave it a bill of good health? Did they say, oh, there's a culvert here, looks good though, no problem?
They were just identifying things along that area, I think, at the time.
So, do you have an overview of what's exactly, here's their limit?
It's amazing that it's held up.
Yeah, over hundreds of years.
Just literally.
I'd have to get down there and look at it.
Well, I saw
I'm
the
tempted.
photos.
You can.
So
Do we have
what's-
photos?
I don't have, like,
What's
forward them.
What's the
They'll
part of
forward it
this
to us.
that's an emergency?
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Let's talk about what's
Is this a
actually.
patch or is this the end result that
What
they're gonna do?
what they are going to do, all right, let's see. Stabilize the road and side slope as appropriate. Minor filling of floodplain. 15.6 square feet and a volume of 5.2 cubic feet. No compensatory storage proposed.
Yeah, it's minimal for the flood zone.
Okay, so they're just filling in, but what about, there's a pipe under there? Did it collapse?
No,
I
it's
don't know.
the arch. It was a big sleuthway because there were
Like an
huge
arch like
axe mills on the, where the water sewer treatment plant is. There were 4-story buildings there.
So are
in the
they filling
1800s,
in
and
only
this-
the corner? But what about,
And then
isn't
this-
it continue under the road? Doesn't the
Yeah.
arch continue under the road? So how is to say this isn't gonna fall in tomorrow? Especially when they bring in the truck to dump the stuff.
And then there's more dumping over here.
I mean, I
onto
don't,
one riprap slope.
look, I mean,
There's culvert demolition.
you know what, I think we need Bill or somebody to come in and talk to us about this, because this is engineering, and this, to me, this looks, to someone who doesn't know engineering, which is me, this looks like a Band-Aid where you're about to actually just make another big opening because you're trying to fill a Band-Aid, but you're standing on top of the very same archway that just collapsed here. You're standing on top of it here, here, here. In other words, how are we fixing so that this doesn't collapse tomorrow, and this doesn't collapse the day after that, and this doesn't collapse the next day?
So I think this plan is for the actual project, the proposed. What Linda is reading is an emergency portion of it. This seems to be the actual plan to remove a portion of the culvert with riprap. I mean, they don't have many mention of riprap, do they? And that stabilize the road and slope side as appropriate.
It's pretty vague.
I don't think this is what, did they say 375 square feet of fill?
No, they said 5 square feet. 5.2 cubic feet of fill.
I think this is the actual game plan. Seems like there's a lot more happening than what the emergency is calling for. Because has to do with paving and demolition of the culvert.
But then what we're
There's-
talking about is we have 2 sentences to
Yeah.
go on for this emergency.
Right.
Which doesn't include all of this.
I don't think
Right.
it includes, yeah.
So this is just for that little
Stabilize the
immediate
road
corner.
and side slope as appropriate, which I don't know what that means. Minor filling of the floodplain, get that, and a volume.
Did you say 16 square feet, 5.2
What's that
cubic
mean?
feet of fill?
No compensatory,
Compensatory storage.
compensatory storage.
When you fill in
proposed.
the floodplain, you have to create flood compensatory. So when it floods, it goes in that area instead. They're just talking about this area right here on the side slope.
Right, but isn't there a portion of the road actually with a hole in it right now? There's actually a gouge out.
Yes.
When you drive by, you just look over and you can see that there's a gouge out of the road right here.
Right, so they're not proposing any pavement for that emergency
So we're
part.
just gonna leave a big hole in the road.
Well, I think they're gonna file, and then they need
But
to
in the
get.
meantime, there's gonna be a hole in the road.
That'll probably be detoured until it gets worse.
So what is the purpose
got
of
the
this
email.
fill?
I got the photo.
Okay, cool. What's the purpose of this fill? Functionally, what's it doing?
stabilize.
Stabilizing exactly what?
This part.
They think
The
that.
road.
So
They're
this is
just
gonna
gonna wash
prevent,
out.
if it's already got a hole here and they're not fixing this hole here, this is not gonna continue to back drop?
Well, they're trying to fill it there so that it won't
They're
do
not
that.
filling though. See, it doesn't even continue. It doesn't go in here at all. They're just, according to this, they're just dropping it right in there. Of course, this is not the emergency though. I'm doing it
Right,
again.
so
I
the
need to stop
bordering
looking at it.
land subject to flooding is a
You
16
should
square
never have
feet.
submitted this.
Right, that's the issue.
So I'm not
there.
gonna look at that
And it does
because-
say Plan 1 of 3.
Pages.
Where are the other 2?
So double-sided?
No,
Who submitted this?
town engineer.
Right,
Anyway,
I've seen
do
it.
do you want
No, I'm
to see the
asking,
picture?
Bill submitted this?
I'm sure Maria typed it up for him.
But I mean, that
The town of Douglas.
stabilize the road and side slope as appropriate.
Do you have another picture? Yeah, see, there's the culvert, the old archway.
Uh-huh.
That's where the river was diverted.
Can you go back up? I didn't miss the first one, sorry.
Here's the email.
And there is the portion of the street that's gouged
Yeah.
out, which is what I'm saying, is that it's not just about filling down that side. It's actually going into the street.
Well, I don't think that they can immediately repair this. I think then they need to put it out to bid. They need to get the plans approved.
They could pour
need to-
fill right up through into the street so that it comes up to it.
They are.
I don't know that. I have two
okay.
words here, stabilize the road and side slope.
But you also have 16 square feet of fill,
This plan
right?
cannot be used. This is a proposal that goes way beyond the emergency. You don't know, this is not applicable.
That area, yeah, that
This is
area
what you get
is-
to talk about. This is all you get to talk about. This is the only thing we signed tonight.
Okay,
That's all we get,
so stabilize the road and side slope,
as appropriate.
minor filling in the floodplain. Just the floodplain portion
Mm-hmm.
is what was called out.
So they're not saying they're filling the hole in the road,
They're just
but they're
stabilizing
stabilizing the
that
road.
corner.
But I'd like to know how they're stabilizing the
The
road.
road with,
Has anybody been up this road recently?
Yeah,
This is North Street,
yeah, I
right?
drive this
go-
every day.
Yeah, I go up that a lot too, but I haven't gone.
I just went, yeah, just
in
went
the
this
last few
morning.
days.
Yeah, I went today. So I look, as I drive
There's a
by,
actual hole in the
there's a
road?
hole in the road, which you can see in the very first slide, where the guardrail, there's this big gap, right there.
Yeah, that one. Happy.
And what I'm saying is, I just, I get that we should get to it and do something right away, but you don't hand me like as appropriate. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do, it's all good, it's appropriate. What is that for instructions? I mean, how am I supposed to vote on something like that? I don't know what the heck that means.
I would agree with you, but I think that the road, it's a concern that it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, so therefore add 2 more sentences so that we can vote on this. Like, if you're really concerned it's gonna get worse,
Yeah.
you can take 2 more minutes out of your day and write another sentence so I can understand what you're talking about. Like, that's not an excuse to say, just trust me, I'll do whatever is
Did he tell you
appropriate.
anything about that plan that you threw over there?
Because you're not allowed to look at that. Not allowed to.
I was coming in almost every day saying, is it ready to be signed? Is it ready to be signed? And he didn't have anything from those engineers yet. And I even went in last Thursday and said, anything yet?
Yeah,
Wait,
that
nope,
was just
nope, nope.
today. The
Wait, he
plan
didn't have
was.
anything from the engineers, but that's for the plan, that's not actually the emergency.
He was waiting to hear from them what to do about this emergency.
But that's a plan for like what they'll do after the fact, like when
I
they
know.
actually, I'm just
Like
questioning.
a formal.
So this is the NOI that comes
seating,
later.
The demolition of the culvert, the filling on both ends with
That's
the
that.
riprap.
That will be the
Okay.
original filing, not the emergency.
But not this. So this, we need to know what they're going to do. How are they stabilizing it? Is the fill that they're adding enough to stabilize? I mean, maybe that's what they're trying to say. I just, maybe.
The only fill that they're calling out is the part in the floodplain.
I know, but what about that hole in the road? They
And
gotta be
then
doing
it-
something.
And then the rest above the floodplain, they're not saying how much it is, how much fill it is, or what type of fill. On the proposed project, it's riprap.
Right, but here, I'm still wondering how they're stabilizing the road. Right,
I would
so all
say-
I'm saying is, give us something that, you just don't ask people to vote on things that don't actually say what they're doing. That's like a blank check.
Okay, so
He should have accompanied that actually tonight.
Yeah, or add 3 more sentences. Like, just, how about some grammar, actually? How about you just tell me what you're doing, so that I can actually have full sentences that say, oh, we're gonna do this, and it's going to support this, and then we're gonna add this, and we're gonna remove that. Bam.
So if we're able to get clarification on the type of fill, do you want a
road.
construction
I wanna know how
sequence?
the road's gonna be
How
stabilized.
the roads will be
Can we,
stabilized?
can we work, instead of waiting 2 weeks, can we work it out with an email? He can email us what his
Well,
intentions are, what the word appropriate means. And then I can come in and sign it, because I can sign it.
She can sign
just
it
one
herself.
signature. And you guys can all email me
But
back
I think we
saying,
should come
"This is
up with
fine."
what items that we
We
want
want,
addressed
yeah.
in the email.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to start where you did, which is, what do you mean by as appropriate? Can you flesh that out a little bit? How are you stabilizing the road? What kind of fill are you putting in?
Yes, the
And what-
approximate amount of fill, not just in the floodplain.
All right, so what appropriate means? What next?
Here's
How
this
stabilizing the
goes.
road? What kind of fill? How much total fill in addition to any floodplain fill?
If they're using riprap.
Yeah, we've got that. What type of fill? Is that?
Okay.
Oh, is there any
Resetting the
mention, there's no
guardrail.
mention of erosion control?
Yeah, well, in the,
No, there's no mention of erosion control in my 2.5 sentences.
okay. We should have done this first, Linda.
We should have, we're too
But she
punch drunk
wasn't
now.
here.
Erosion
Oh, well, that's
control.
true, you go, everything gets done faster that way, yeah.
And if the guardrail's gonna be reset. Pretty much just the method of the stabilization. And do you wanna know the sequence?
No, I think we already had here,
Construction
what's that first one
sequence.
say?
What does
Appropriate.
appropriate mean?
Appropriate, so that's what we're saying, how are you stabilizing and how stabilizing the road, so I think that's everything. No, I don't need a sequence. I mean, I do appreciate the fact that this is supposed to be an emergency order, get it done, and that's cool, but you can't be this flippant, that's inappropriate.
And we're not sure what that plan was for.
Well, apparently that's what they plan to do someday, I guess.
Yeah, I just grabbed it from up down here. Did you lose your pen? Oh, no, it's right there.
Yeah.
I was wondering where that came from. Okay, so that's on hold, all right.
Sign vouchers.
Okay, the RDA, Mass Electric, Boyko. This guy's ready to go.
Oh, I did No?
Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to toss that quite.
Which one?
Kind of frisbeed on me.
41 Crescent Lane. Okay, this one is okay. This is the order of conditions.
Just one spot? So,
This is the 45
Crescent Lane.
Crescent Lane.
Are those even listed on it? Oh, there's, I got number 5 is 41.
Well, they were up here, we just closed them.
Yeah, no, I was just I'm trying to go through my little to-do list over here in the discussion section.
Oh, okay, good idea. Oh, this is the denial for Mr. Bazile.
There's the other
We
Crescent
never
Lane.
sent him the denial, so we're doing that now.
The INRAD?
Yes,
Oh, you denied the INRAD?
yes, I just read it in the minutes tonight, and I called Maria and I said, we never issued that.
Is there a reason why you denied the INRAD?
It was because they did not ask for a continuance, they did not
Okay, not
give
because
us
of
any more
substance, but
information.
Well, there was still information we wanted, and
Right.
they hadn't gotten back to us on it.
They just kept saying they weren't gonna show up. And then finally, they didn't even say that.
Right.
Okay. Oh, this is the certificate for Boyko.
I like that guy.
Right, I thought we did Boyko first, that was the first one
That
we
was
signed.
the order of conditions. Now
Ah,
this is the CFC.
Got it.
And this is the certificate of compliance for the partial for
Crescent?
41.
what is this thing for? 4B.
An ORAD.
Yes.
Did you eat dinner or
This
no?
is the other Crescent Lane.
Oh my, I wouldn't be able to make it.
His belly's
I start, yeah, I start to fade with it.
I'm sorry, what is this one?
The other Crescent Lane. The order of conditions.
Partial.
Yeah, I thought I did 2 crescents, but there's 4
Well,
of
we've
them
done
here,
4.
so.
Yeah. This is the deer crossing, the deer crossing, and the deer crossing. And that's it for those. Have we done it all, Brandy?
50 Southwest Main Street, what's that?
That was the Bazile update
Yes.
about the drainage. She had received the email.
The restoration plan, they submitted, the engineers having a restoration plan. Those doing, you weren't here, so Bill goes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Do you want me to do anything?
They're doing a sidewalk on
Do you need me to
Friday.
assist you?
No?
Did those 2 crossings need to be signed?
No, we continued
It
those.
just continues, okay.
Yeah. And the guy, remember Steve, we went for that site walk. The road is on Southeast Main, and the project goes in off of Shady Knoll subdivision. Remember, I went for that sidewalk with you couple weeks ago? You know where Shady Knoll is? Down that big hill.
Yeah. Oh, Crescent Lane.
Yeah, he didn't come in tonight. Remember I asked you to take pictures? You were supposed to go back out and take...
Oh, yeah, he never came in.
No. So what's he gonna do?
Did we do 283
Emergency.
southeast, southwest, 283 southwest?
That's postponed by the applicant.
Postponed.
Yes. Okay.
Do we have any vouchers?
No, we don't. I don't know why she keeps putting that on there. She did that last time, too. All right, what else have we got? Anything?
No, nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Minutes?
No.
No?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's too late.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Cameras on, just let you know.
What's that?
The camera's on.
Oh, I know. I'm out.
on?
I did, isn't it?
No, but never. I said it for myself anyway.
We already done.
Oh, my eyes are burning.
I know.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Thank you
Thank you.
all for this extended meeting. It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
So you should have had, did you see the request from Glen Street? Get a refile, because that was expired. Maria should have got them this morning from Bill.
Glenn?
Yeah, that earth removal, those 2 ones.
Who's doing earth?
Oh, Jimmy. It was, everything's expired.
I don't know nothing about it.
I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat Bill if he didn't put it in this.
Did you guys shut the tape off?
Unless it was just, unless it was just, she just put it on for the next time.
I don't know, look in the book. Is it behind you?